That kind of worked out perfectly, that cord length. Damn. I couldn't have planned that better. Oh, I bet. It was a decent crowd. It's kind of tilted, huh? No, that's the opposite way I want it, huh? Oops. Yep. Cool. Vaughn Michelle with the super chat already, just starting the stream up. Let's go. Yeah, I need to pay attention to that today, especially since I got more time, more wits about me today. Thank you, Vaughn Michelle.
Our house burned down, our vehicles destroyed.
What's up, buddy? How's your truck? It's alright. What's up? Hey. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
What up? How you doing? Pretty good. Hey, what's up, Mom? How you doing?
You coming tonight, right?
Yeah, yep, I sure am. I would you hug?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hi there.
Nice to meet you. I'll be cruising around here, so. What up?
Come on, my brother.
How you doing?
Nice to see you, man. You're kidding out today. Kidding out.
Maybe a little bit. Got to keep it real. Feels good. I feel good today. What up?
How you doing? Good to see you.
Yep, good to see you. Are you speaking today?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing alright.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. You too. Yeah, and Tifa's got a heart on for you, huh?
What's up?
Hey, you fucking, I didn't even recognize you. When you got all this gear, you literally walk right past me.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do. My bad, I'm going around saying hi to everybody. Yep. What's up?
What's up, my man?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
You know.
Yep.
You know. Oh, yeah. What's up? I was wondering where the fuck you were at.
I'm here.
Where is everybody? Or you're kind of just everybody's hanging out.
Like everyone who would be advertising, all the trickers.
Cool. Oh, I see, old boy.
Hey, what's up, man?
What up? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I barely even recognize you. Hey, what up, dude?
My man.
What's up?
Okay, so I'm gonna give out a shout out to all to the streamers who came. If you want it, if not, Okay, so what? Behind Jacob.
Yep.
How do you want me to introduce
behind
you?
Enemy Lines News.
Behind. Enemy. I think it's about that time. Okay.
You look good today. Slick.
Thank you.
Slick,
thank
baby.
you.
Slick.
Good deal.
What's up, guys? What's up? Yeah, I know there is quite a few flags out there, isn't there? Yeah. I like the lion flag. What's up?
What's cracking? Cracking, homeboy.
Hanging out, you know. You know what I'm saying?
I want to carry it. Like, man, take your flag. He goes, well, when I did give my speech, you can see I'm behind you with it. Like, dude, I don't want to carry it all day. I was like, I brought it for you, homeboy.
Good crowd. It's a good crowd. It's a good crowd. I mean, there's not a hell of people. It's a good amount of people, man. Maybe. We'll see.
Somebody mentioned it. I was like, oh, there's a big crowd over there.
That's where we should be holding it.
I wore my sweatshirt. Like, if you're going to get kind of warm today, let's get at least 60.
I know, and I have thermals on. I was like, fuck. It might be a little hot. Yeah. It's alright, though. I feel good. Feels good out. Nice little breeze.
As long as we keep getting that wind.
Yep.
Now y'all that messed up, grown man out here playing
Get it going now. We've got all the streamers here. We got
be there. I love our microphone setup. Look at this. This right here. This is prime.
Thank you all for coming. It's a beautiful day God has provided for us. First off, I want to say God bless America. God bless each and every one of you for coming out today and supporting this Second Amendment rally. We've got a nice lineup of speakers here. First off, can everyone hear me? Yeah. All right. Okay, good, good. So we've got Joey Gibson of Patriot Prayer, Jim Walsh of the 19th District, State Rep, Aaron Hansen, candidate for the 6th District. We have Dawn of allpatriotsnetwork.com. Again, that's allpatriotsnetwork.com. Go on and get on that website. It's a good website for mobilizing patriots, getting us together for rallies and protests and all sorts of other activities. So, yeah, look that up, allpatriotsnetwork.com. And finally, we have Ryan Ingram. So, if any of you happen to see him, looks like maybe he's running a little late, point him my way so I can get introduced to him and I can introduce him properly. Okay, so first off, I would like to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. So I would ask all the gentlemen to remove your hats, please, if you can. If not, I understand some of you are wearing things that might be difficult to remove. That's all right. All right, here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, guys. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tom Howie. I'm an activist out here. A little bit about myself. I'm a nobody. I'm just an ordinary citizen. I'm a patriot who loves America, just like each and every one of you. That's all there is to me. You know, I think that's something we all need to recognize, is that each and every one of us is powerful. Each and every one of us can make that critical difference in this movement. And so God bless you for coming out here and being part of that difference. Okay, your participation is pivotal. And that's what you need to recognize, is just how powerful each and every one of you is. Not by our own merits, but through the Creator. He works through us. So through our prayers and our actions, we can do amazing things together. We have to recognize that we are in this together. We can't allow petty infighting to get between us, to break apart our movement, to distract us from what's truly important. That is the common enemy who is working constantly to undermine us. We have an impossible opponent arrayed against us. We cannot defeat that institution on our own power. But we have an even more powerful power behind us who will empower us to do amazing things that you could not possibly imagine. And we will be victorious through him. Amen? Amen. Amen. So without further ado, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but our first speaker will be Joey Gibson of Patriot Prayer. Yeah. And if you would you like open this off with a prayer for us? Amen. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Joey.
God, I want to thank you for just this beautiful day, for a right to come together as a community. God, I'm asking that you bring courage back into the Patriot community, back into Washington State. God, give us the strength to fight for freedom and this liberty that you blessed us with. God, please help us unite, come together. The enemy is not one another. We got a spiritual battle. God, please awaken us. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
So we're going to do some quick shout-outs, and then I'm going to have you speak. So don't go too far. Okay, so we have some great streamers here. I want to thank you guys for coming and giving this event publicity. We have... Yes, thank you guys. There's some who chose to remain unnamed, and so I'm going to respect that and not point them out. But those who want to shout out, I'm going to give it right here. We've got, on Twitter, we have @RealBlairNelson. @RealBlairNelson. So if you're on Twitter, go on and follow him. Thank you for coming. We have Behind Enemy Lines News, the notorious Behind Enemy Lines. Thank you for coming. We have Common Sense Conservative. Thank you for coming.
Let's go, Robert.
We have Primetime Patriot.
Let's go, Primetime.
I see a couple others. I didn't get a chance to... Do you want to shout out? Anyone else who... you can go ahead and shout your name out if I missed you. I apologize. If not, I can just stay silent and not possibly dox you. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, if I didn't mention you by name, I thank you for coming anyway. I appreciate all of you. So, without further ado, here's Joey Gibson again.
All right. So, there's going to be a lot of people here today that's going to talk about some of these issues and these bills that we have and specifically about them. I'm not going to do that because I want to talk about something that's very important. First of all, it is very important that we fight these laws that they've been trying to pass here in Olympia, especially when it comes to the Second Amendment. It's very important to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But there's something else that's also important, okay? Is preparing for responding to it when or if they get passed, okay? It's very important. And so this is something I want to talk about, and people don't really talk about this enough, but it's about building pockets of resistance and pockets of freedom at a local level, okay? It's very important, very important. You've already seen it, like in Georgia. Okay, on to about preemption real quick, but Georgia's a little different. In Georgia, in one county, they literally passed a law at a county level where if the Second Amendment rights are violated, the sheriffs are directed to take them to jail, okay, whether it be a federal or state agent. And here in Washington, it's going to be a little bit different because of preemption, but this is something I want to talk about. In 2019, after they passed 1639, do you guys remember that? Yeah. 1639. There was a lot of issues with that bill. A lot of it. Some of it was crazy, like the fact that they can have random people just look at your medical history and just for no reason at all just come and take your firearms, okay? No due process at all. So what I was doing is we held probably like 40 different events across the state of Washington, whether it be city council meetings, commissioner meetings, just rallies in random cities in the middle of nowhere in Washington state. And the thing is that I started to realize is that people are really excited to get involved at a local level, okay, and really push their city council members to protect the Constitution at a local level. But the problem is that one of the biggest problems is that you literally be in a city middle of nowhere that's totally all, red, constitutional and all that. Then they look on the city council and all of them are liberals, okay? And one of the biggest reasons why is because they ran unopposed and no one knew what was on their city council, okay? And so that's very important for you guys to understand that. I'm going to suggest that each and every single one of you today, go home today and look at your own county and look at every single city in your county and see who's up for re-election this year. In my county alone, there's 3 cities that have 4 city council members up for re-election, which that's a majority. You can take over a city council, and it's very easy because, again, like I said, a lot of people don't get involved at a local level. So in Washington State, they have a law called preemption, okay? Do you guys know what that is? And preemption basically says that you cannot pass any Second Amendment ordinances at a local level. All the Second Amendment laws have to come from Olympia. It's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because if it wasn't for preemption, they would have banned firearms in Seattle a long time ago, okay? They would have done that in a lot of the far-left cities. But it's also bad because we can't pass ordinances that protect your Second Amendment, or at least they say that you can, okay? So some of the things that we can do, okay, if you take over your city council, I want you to think about this. If you take over your city council, you can begin to pass ordinances where you say that they have to respect the Fourth Amendment. They have to respect due process, otherwise they have 364 days in jail for violating the Constitution in your city. You have a right to do that. They'll say that you can't, okay? Ferguson will come after you without a doubt, But we need brave people, brave leaders to start standing up and deal with the consequences. Is that right? The thing is if you're not getting sued by Bob Ferguson yet, then maybe you're not trying hard enough. Okay? I'm not joking. All right? So here's another thing that people don't think about taking over your city council. Do you understand that when you take over your city council that you pick the police chief?
Yep.
Do you understand that?
That's right.
And if you have a police chief that is enforcing unconstitutional laws, you get rid of them and you hire a new one. Do you understand the power that you have for that? Think about the sheriffs that you elect also. You have Sheriff Bob Songer in Klickitat County, okay? I'm telling you, they will not arrest an 18-year-old for having possession of a rifle. He won't do it, right? Bob Songer said that if Inslee ever comes to his county, he will arrest him, okay? This is why it's very important that you figure out who is it at a local level. It's very important. Like I said, whether they pass these gun laws or not, what's very important is that you build your community, you build a pocket of freedom where you say, no one in our city, no one in our county is going to go to jail for fascist laws that they passed in there. Do you see what I'm saying? So each and every single one of you have that responsibility, okay?
That's right.
It's your community, it is your city, it is your county. It is your responsibility to make sure that no one goes to jail for these unconstitutional laws. The thing is, I want to talk about real quick, give you a couple examples. So down in Vancouver, and I haven't talked about this too much, back in December, Inslee made it illegal for you to worship on public lands. So if we were here in December, if there's any of us here that spoke about God or worshiped or anything, that was considered illegal at that time, okay? So I made the decision to go ahead and throw a worship service at the police station in City of Vancouver. And what we did is we sued the City of Vancouver, basically asking the federal government to come in and say that you can't arrest these guys for worshiping out in the open. Crazy, right? And so we've been battling this, and this is something this is very important. I want you guys to think about this. We've been battling this court case for a while now, basically saying that they can't arrest me for worshiping back in December, okay? Now we have a mayor, okay, we have a city attorney. The city attorney is also picked by the city council. They're fighting in federal court like crazy right now to reserve a right to arrest me for worshiping, okay? I want you to let that sink in. That's how important it is at a local level. For me personally, it's very concerning because I believe there's going to be persecution, and I believe that they want to throw Christians in jail. And so right now I have a mayor in my own city, right, that wants to throw people in jail. She's up for re-election this year, so it's my moral obligation to make sure that she never steps one foot back into office, right? That's what I'm saying is by laying claim to your city and your community. I want my children to be able to worship out in the open freely without worry about going to jail, okay? I want my children to be able to exercise their Second Amendment rights, okay, in our own community without fear of going to jail. But that means that I have to do something about it, right? So I would highly suggest to all of you, do everything that you can, go home, especially if you're in these small towns, and figure out who's up for re-election, okay? It's very important. The last thing that I want to talk about before I finish this up, most of the people that are politicians, okay, especially at a local level, most of them are cowards, okay, and they're not going to do anything to protect you, okay, they're not. I have personal experience going around. They'll say they want to do something, but at the end of the day, they won't pass an ordinance, they won't push anything, because they just want to be comfortable inside the city council, okay? So what I'm saying is, take it over, okay? Take it over because we need real leaders in positions of power. Do you agree?
Yes.
People who are courageous, people who are actually willing to fight for you, okay? And so the beautiful thing about this is that I personally have lost a lot of hope for Olympia, okay? I'm not saying you should, I personally have, okay? But I have a lot of faith and I have a lot of hope for impacting my community back home, okay? And you guys should too. Guys, God bless each and every single one of you.
God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you, Joey. Thank you for coming out here. That was wonderful. That was great advice. And I encourage each and every one of you to get involved, like he said, however you can, whether it's getting on city council, becoming a PCO, in the Republican Party, whatever. Get involved however you can. You can make an impact. That is what our founding fathers intended, a government by the people, for the people, and of the people. Okay, next up, we have Jim Walsh of the 19th District.
Thanks. All right. Thank you. Let's start at the start. The right of an individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself and the state shall not be impaired. That's right. That's Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington State Constitution. Amen. The constitutional protections for the right to bear arms, to open carry in this state are stronger than the protections described in the federal Constitution. The Washington State Constitution is very clear. And it's important to think, too, what it says. That when you carry arms, bear arms, it's in defense of yourself, your family, your property, but also of the state. The idea is that by defending yourself, defending what is yours, you do a favor to your neighbors. You do a favor to everyone in the state by creating a community based on constitutional individual liberty. That's what this state was built on. And in doing that, in respecting that tradition, in respecting that constitutional, foundational right, you are being a servant of the state. You are doing the right kind of service of the state. You are making the state strong. You are making your neighbors strong in their rights to own property, to make the choices of how they live, to live their lives in liberty. And that's a great thing. So for that, I thank you. You're doing your part by enforcing the individual liberties that make us all better off. Now, I also want to tell you that it's always going to be a challenge. It's always going to be tough. They're going to bait you. They're going to mock you. They're going to make you, they're going to tempt you to act in anger or to act in passion that's misdirected. What I ask you all to do is always take the high road. Don't take their bait. Don't indulge in small, petty arguments. Because that's what the other side wants to do. They want to bring you down. But be confident. Be happy. Know that you're doing a service to your neighbors in the state. You're doing a service to your community by enforcing the right kind of individual liberty. So when they come around and try to provoke you into an argument, provoke you into a fight, let it go. When the would-be elitists in the mainstream media draw political cartoons where they portray you as a pig, literally dehumanizing you, let it go. Don't engage, don't be upset, because they're the small ones. They're the weak ones. You know, I saw that political cartoon where people open carrying, people who defended the Constitution of the state were portrayed as animals in the political cartoon. And then that cartoonist couldn't let it go with a good cartoon, had to attach 200 or 300 words explaining what the cartoon meant. Now, where I come from, a good political cartoon doesn't need 200 words explaining what it means. They're the weak ones. They're the smirking ones. They're the ones who want to be elitists, but aren't that elite. You know who's elite? Someone who can protect his or her life. Someone who can protect his or her family. Someone who can protect his or her home. That's who the elite are. So remember that, and don't let them drag you down. Don't let them make you engage in their silly arguments. Now, I do want to talk about this one bill that we've got working through the Capitol here. That's Senate Bill 5038. 5038. Now, it's being defended as restricting open carry only here on the Capitol campus. That's what a lot of its supporters say this bill is. But the bill is much more than that. It bans open carry at really any public event. So the reach of this ban on open carry goes beyond just this Capitol campus where we're standing now. It could apply anywhere in the state.
Right.
And it is, at its core, unconstitutional,
We the people.
unlawful, and flying in the
It's literally
face
called
of
We
the
the People.
traditions of this state. And it's born of weakness. It's born of fear. It's born of shame.
Right.
The supporters of 5038 have no respect for our state constitution or laws.
Nope.
They're motivated by fear.
Right.
Don't let their fear define your happiness and your strength in this state. That's their game. Don't play it. Stay on the high road. Stay confident that what you're doing is right, because it is. You are the sentinels of liberty, and God bless you all. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's Jim Walsh. He's the only elected representative who showed up today, so I have a lot of respect for that. We don't seem to see a whole lot of other representatives out here, do we? But he's a trooper. He's always here. So God bless you, sir, and thank you for coming out and mingling with the people you represent. That is phenomenal. We need to see more of that. Next up, we have a candidate, Aaron Hansen. So he's running in the 6th district. So again, respect for you coming out here and mingling with us and talking to us. So here you go. I'm going to put it on to you.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to see some people out here. Jim talked a lot about the bill of what I would have got into on what it covers. And Julius, he talked about bringing it local. So before I jumped into running for the 6th district, I looked local. The only thing I could run for was the school board, but that's in 2023, or an appointed position for the board commissioner. So that wasn't really the fight I wanted. That isn't really what I was looking for. I wanted to jump in the fight because we are the leaders that we've been looking for, and we are the fighters that we need. And without that, we're just going to get taken by the left. People need to jump in, not be scared, and actually be willing to fight. I put my neck on the line. I've been doxxed. I helped out a few campaigns in 2020. I've had my face on the Antifa Twitter pages. They've come after me, but I don't care. It's about fighting and standing up for it.
Right.
Now, if we don't, then we're just going to lose. And I'm not going to lay down and just tell them to rub my stomach. So what I ended up doing, win or lose, is I'm jumping in the fight. Because it's about the fight. And making them respect us for what the fight is. So that is why I've jumped in. I'm running against Derek Kilmer in the 6th. He plays the moderate, but votes 100% of the time with Nancy Pelosi. And we can obviously what's going on in her district, and that's going to start coming into mine. So I jumped into this, and I'm not, if I win, that's awesome. But I just want to make them have to pay attention to us, and that's basically what I'm here for. All this is great, but we really need some voter reform. Because if we don't get voter reform, they're just going to keep pushing through these laws. And they're going to keep winning because they're able to cheat to the top. We need that voter reform. Without that, We can do this till the cows come home and it's not going to do anything. So that's what I'm pushing for. Without that, this is great, and we'll just keep doing it year after year after year. But we need, like Joey said, get people local. I live in a nice red town, and I live in a nice red county. I'm pretty fortunate. We've taken over the school board. We have a few positions we can take, but for the most part, it's a pretty conservative district. So I went bigger. I wanted to jump into the fight, run for something where I could make a difference, at least make them pay attention to me. So I encourage everybody, look local if you can't get local. These are great, but jump in the fight. We need fighters. And right now, their message is better than ours. They're winning on the emotional argument. And that's what we need. We need to be able to get with the emotional argument, because sitting here talking facts, it just goes right over their head. So I don't want to take up too much time. I'd be happy to answer any questions over here. But just jump in the fight. Look local if you can't get local. Do something bigger. This is great, but we need more of it, and we need more fighters. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's Aaron Hansen, correct? Okay. So before we get our next speaker, Don from allpatriotsnetwork.com, right? A Patriot donated pizza for us. So we're going to pass it out real quick, and we're going to get through that. And then we will have him speak. That way, you know, we've still got the focus on you. So thank you for that donation. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful day, I gotta say. Amen, amen. So, I see my cellmate showed up. Excuse me, Gammy. Do you want to come on up for a second? Not really, come on, come on. So, when I was arrested, that was the 11th, was it not? January 11th? Yeah, I was arrested for trying to attend the legislative session, right there, their first one, and this was my cellmate. So, yeah, she's still got the arm, they put these armbands on us. Is there anything you'd like to say real quick?
God bless America and everybody show up. Get more people here.
Yeah, thanks for what you got.
Yeah, we got to keep it going.
You have a cause, do you not? You want to?
I have a family right. Caught me off guard here. But Jay Inslee appointed Raquel Montoya Lewis from Superior Court in Whatcom County to be a judicial Supreme Court. And she's been very wicked in my son's case, taking my 5 grandchildren and putting them in CPS corruption. When President Trump said in his Mount Rushmore speech, 39 minutes in, he said, "We will find unity like no one expected." I knew then that God opened up the door to the swamp in the state of Washington of my 6-year battle to get my grandson, Unity, out of the swamp. His name is Unity, and Unity is a child held in the state of Washington, and I want him home now with his 4 siblings. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. All right. Here you go, Don.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you very much for coming today. How can I follow all these awesome speakers? It's going to be pretty difficult. My name is Don, and I'm with allpatriotsnetwork.com. I'm also a U.S. Air Force disabled American veteran, wartime disabled. And I have a long history of veterans in my family, dating back before World War I. Had grandfathers that served in World War I, 2 grandfathers that served in the Army and Army Air Corps, World War II. My grandma served in the WASP, Women's Air Service. And I had uncles and aunts serve in and one of my fathers served in Vietnam and Korea. And just a long history of patriots. How many constitutional loving patriots do we have here today? Thank you. Each and every one of you is the most important thing we have going for our great country right now. Each and every one of you. How many veterans do we have here today? Thank you very much for your service, past and present. Thank you for continuing your service as a patriot. We appreciate you. We love you and thank you. How many first responders, police, emergency services, so on, nurses, doctors? Thank you very much for what you guys do as well. And thank you for everybody here who works hard to keep the American dream alive through what you do at your jobs, and just keeping people working and pushing to reopen against this tyranny. Super important. So what I wanted to talk about today, and I know that you guys have read this, everybody has their pocket constitutions, right? All right, if your warrior's out, I do have a few up here for $5 a piece you can get later. I've only got a few left, but that's just a repay for me to buy more. You know, in September 25th, 1789, Congress transmitted to the state legislatures 12 proposed amendments, 2 of which having to do with congressional representation and congressional pay were not adopted. The remaining 10 amendments became the United States Bill of Rights. And one of the most important Bill of Rights, as you know, is the one that we're here to celebrate and make sure is not taken away from us today. That's the Second Amendment. Whereas a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Right? Amen. Shall not be infringed, ever. You know, I love what my brothers like Jim Walsh and other people have to say about being peaceful and not submitting to all of these pressures that people put out towards us every day. You know, as we drive down the road with our flags and people are giving you the bird and yelling anti-American crap, and we have Antifa, like some of the reporters we have here today, that are trying to dox us and hurt our families when we're not home. You know, it's pretty disgusting. But, you know, the point is yes, they're right, we should remain peaceful as long as we can. But let me tell you what happened to some of my relatives who lived in Germany and Poland before World War II that didn't get so lucky as they remained peaceful. Okay? They died in concentration camps. And if you don't think that can happen here, either under your own tyrannical government that may be bought out by China, or is bought out by China, it could also happen when the CCP marches in because they put our military to sleep. All right, it's disgusting what's happening here. You need to get out in your communities, and you need to get out there now. You need to encourage patriots to stand up, create your pods, learn how to be self-sufficient. Self-sufficient means without power, without trucks and trains bringing your food in. Learn how to grow food. Learn how to be independent and off the grid, because if you think you don't need that, you better look at what happened in Texas and a couple of other states. You better look at what happened in Bonnie Lake just a few months ago. We didn't have cell service and power for over a week. You know? Nothing. Luckily, some of us had radios. And then Starlink brought some internet in for a few people, some of the emergency services. So what I'm saying is you need to be prepared. Yeah, don't get violent right now. It's not the time, perhaps. But you better be ready to do what it takes to save your life, save your family's life, save your friend's life, and protect your fellow patriots and your Constitution. Because, by God, if you don't see what's going on out there right now, all right, with your government, then you better wake the hell up and start waking other people up. And I think people are starting to see what's going on. This cancel culture bullshit, you know, making everything, you know, everything's bad. Dr. Seuss is bad and all this other bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting down and dirty. It's time to stand up, build your little pods in your community, wake up, get your ham radio licenses. Sadly, you need those. But, you know, get trained. Start putting together training for your groups. All right? And I want to remind you of something else. When I left the military in 1999, we were told that China was on the 35-year plan. The 35-year plan to topple the #1 domino left in the world that protects freedom all around the world. And that's the United States of America. Since then, they've expedited their processes with our money that we are giving them
for all this rubber doggy shit in Target and Walmart and everything else everybody keeps buying. Okay? We are funding them to take over. They are building their military like no other time. They are expanding. They've got Hong Kong now, and they are working on Taiwan. They're building their own fortified islands. They are preparing. If you think they're doing that for peace, you better pull your head out of your ass, because there ain't nothing peaceful about it. I'm going to tell you something else. 35 years in 1999 has just been expedited. Okay? You're probably looking at Year of the Dragon. Anybody here know what Year of the Dragon is? When is that? Please, sir, in the back, tell us when is Year of the Dragon? Do you know what Year of the Dragon is?
It's coming up.
Yeah, when is it? Tell them.
2 years, isn't it?
2024, Year of the Dragon. 24. China, the Chinese people believe, and I'm specifically talking about the CCP. There's a lot of good Chinese people, so don't go out there and pick on Asians. There's a lot of great freedom-loving Chinese people that are very oppressed. Excuse me. But I'm telling you, if you don't think they're ready and getting ready to march their ass in here using, tactical nukes or whatever it takes to take us out, while we have a tyrannical government that's put the military to sleep and is bought out by them anyway, you better wake the hell up. 2024, two huge things are happening. A, Year of the Dragon, that's their lucky year, and they are preparing like no other time for that. B, the 2024 elections, that if during the next year we take our Congress and our Senate back and we get people in there in the security department that can get our military back together and get it activated like was happening under President Trump, and be prepared to defend our country and defend our allies that we've sworn to defend so they don't fall first, we're doomed. I'm telling you flat ass, I hate to be a doomsayer, but it's time to wake up. That's what's going on. If you don't believe me, do your research. I've done mine, inside and outside the military. I love you all. I really appreciate you here. I wish there were more people here. I did expect a lot more people, and I think some events got divided and stuff. But look, get out there and talk to people. Let them know what's going on. We have to stand up now. We have to get the right people back in office. We have to fix our election system, and by fixing, I don't mean like the last fix, all right? And we need to get our shit together, Patriots, all right? I love you. Let's roll.
Thank you. Hey, much appreciated. Thank you, Don. So, again, that's Don of allpatriotsnetwork.com, correct? Yeah. So look that up. Get involved. He's been a real trooper, always.
I do have some giveaways. Who is our youngest person here? Who's our young people? Anybody under 20 here today? If you're under 20, come on up here. How many under 20 do we have? We need to get our young people activated. Sir, thank you very much for coming. Got a pocket constitution there for you. And a sticker here. Thank you, you're welcome. Anytime. All right, there you go. Thank you. Who else we got under 20? I know there was a young lady here a few minutes ago. I think maybe she might be 21. Come on up. 20 to 24. Come on up here. Who we got? There we go. Good. Let me give you something else right here. All right, I got some extra stickers and what have you, so anybody else can come up afterwards. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated. Again, Trooper, always organizing events out here and getting people active. So very much appreciated. Thank you for everything you had to say. Very good points. People, we need to be self-sufficient. We need to be prepared, and we need to get active. So a couple things before I introduce the next speaker. I want to give a shout out to all the people who've been operating namelessly behind the scenes, especially those that wish to remain anonymous, which is most of you. Highly respect that. I've hardly done anything. I'm just a face for this event. There's been, really, this is everybody here coming together to make this successful. I want to thank the Primetime Patriot Network for contributing the sound system that we're using. you know, Joey Gibson also had a backup for us, so thank you for that. You know, it takes a lot of people to put this kind of thing together. Also, I want to give a shout out for the other event that's going on down at Heritage Park. I don't know if it's started yet. Let me see, what time is it? Yeah, they're going to start shortly at about 1 o'clock. So if you decide to attend their event after ours, I've talked to the group leader of that event, and they don't want rifles at their event. So if you choose to go to their event, I just kindly ask that you respect the wishes of their event. I'm sure sidearms are fine, but they prefer if we didn't bring our rifles down there. So other than that, let me see here. Yeah, I think that's about everything. So next we have Rex Fergus, a leader of the Proud Boys. So here we go.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Oh, this is really loud. I'm Rex Fergus. I'm the president of the Proud Boys. And we came out here today to show our support, obviously, for the event that's happening here. We love our guns. We love our country. One of the things that everyone's been talking about today is how that's being stolen from us systematically. They started out, I remember when I was a lot younger, everyone had guns. When I was really young, I was given my first gun. It was a .22 long rifle. It was a bolt action, and we'd go out and shoot it all the time. Our parents taught us how to shoot. They taught us how to respect firearms and the abilities that they have and that you will have when you have the firearm. They taught us how to hunt. They taught us the responsible way to handle these guns. So we grew up with a healthy respect for it and for the people that carried them. We grew up with a respect for law enforcement officers, the people that go out there, our military, the people that carry firearms every day to protect our ability to have these rights so that we don't have to use our guns here at home. But I'll tell you, the direction I see the country going in, and like some of these guys have said, I've lost a lot of hope. I've lost a lot of hope in our government. I've lost a lot of hope in the people, the leadership that we have elected or the people that we've tried to elect. And their inability to do their jobs, their inability to maintain our freedoms. Every single law that they create is further restricting us. Every law. I believe that any law that they make in regards to firearms is an infringement on our rights to have firearms. Anything they do, whether it's magazine capacities, whether it's, you know, certifying someone, you know, not legally able to have a firearm because of their mental state. I mean, anyone could go and say that. You could just make the accusation that you feel scared because someone said something that you didn't like. I mean, nowadays they're basically saying everyone who supported Trump in the last election is a terrorist. Does that make us mentally fit to have firearms in the definitions of their new laws they're trying to pass? They're basically trying to get rid of any opposition that they may have in order to create this global communist regime, yeah. So they come after us. They come after the everyday patriots because it's not these Antifa dudes who are down or the BLM guys who are down there causing all the rioting and the things that are happening in these cities. These laws aren't going to affect them because laws only apply to law-abiding citizens. And the more laws that they create, the more laws I'm going to be forced to maybe disregard in some aspects. They are creating criminals out of good patriot Americans. And the last time we were down here, a little story time for you guys, we were right here on this corner of this street. I don't know the names of all the streets. I wish I did. That sound way cooler. The main Olympic Drive. We were right there at the corner, and probably 250 Antifa and BLM sympathizers marched up the street towards us. We were standing there minding our, we were just here to protect people that were at the flag wave event. And they come up and attacked us. We didn't move. We didn't back down. They left, went around the city. We came back up to this statue right here, and we stood there for about 10 minutes before law enforcement said that if we didn't move, the Patriots didn't move, because we were standing there being attacked. They were throwing bottles at us. They were throwing Christmas ornaments full of concrete. Who the fuck thinks of that? Sorry, there's kids here. So they're doing all this stuff, and they're throwing paint at us so that they can identify and mark us for later attacks that they go around the city after we escape. So we decide to turn around, walk away from them, try to separate ourselves from them, get people to their vehicles. There's several parking lots that used to be open before they shut it all down. We were trying to get people to their cars safely. And that's when the real attack started. That's when the rocks came out. That's when the batons came out. That's when their guns came out. They started shooting at us right here in this parking lot. And it was coming across, and the only person that freaking covered that was the Common Sense Conservative. He's the only person who went out and posted the video of it to show the world what these guys were doing. Yeah, he is here, Dave. She's the only person that was showing the truth. These guys are out here shooting at our vehicles as we were trying to get out safely. We leave. We come back across the grounds. The state troopers put our guys on the grounds, the Patriots. They put them on the ground at gunpoint. For what? What did we do? We showed up to defend the Constitution, defend our rights to be here, to just stand around and talk about the things that interest us most, like our rights, like our freedoms. And we got put on the ground at gunpoint. Meanwhile, these Antifa guys, they weren't arrested. There's no accountability for the things that they're doing, not just here in Olympia, but down in Portland. You know, the guy who just got arrested for attacking a law enforcement officer was arrested, released the same day, no charges, and then he catches the federal courthouse on fire just the other night. Is that okay? Why are these people not being held accountable for their crimes? Why is it us? It's the Proud Boys, it's the Patriots, the guys who are being attacked. And so, like I said, we lost a lot of faith. You know, a good friend of mine, we went to Jay's memorial. After the memorial, he was run over by a BLM activist in his vehicle. That was identified. We had pictures of him. I shot the video of the entire thing. I tried to cooperate with law enforcement, show them the video, give them a statement. There were 20 witnesses there in the parking lot, not just Proud Boys, not just Patriots, but patrons in the bar. The witness this event happened. The guy drove off after he hit Shane Moon in the parking lot. He sped away. Guess what happened to that guy? He was exonerated of his crime. Shane Moon never even got a freaking interview with law enforcement at all. To this day, no law enforcement officer or a court official has contacted Shane Moon for his story and the series of events that happened that day. No one did. To this day. Where is that justice? And you're putting Patriots into a position to where we have to go out and start making these tough decisions every day to remain peaceful, to take the higher ground. Well, there's only so much that these Patriot men can take. And these are hardened men, guys who have been in war. They've seen the turmoil that is to come. The country's going down a bad path, and I just don't know what's going to change it but direct action. I hate talking like that, but voting's not going to remove these people from office. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. You know, you brought up a very good point. I was there on the 12th. When all that went down, when all that chaos went down, 200 Antifa marched up this street down here. They pummeled a lone man in the middle of the street just for standing there with a megaphone. That's all he was doing. Someone came up behind him, one of the Antifa members, pushed him into their crowd, and they pummeled him. When he came out, his head was absolutely covered with his own blood. Okay?
Where's the law and order?
Right, where is the law and order?
Where's the accountability?
Where's our freedom of speech? How can these thugs get away with doing that? This is ridiculous. Where is the public outcry? People are asleep. You need to wake up, America. The First Amendment is not just under attack from the government. It's also under attack from roving bands of thugs hiding their identities like criminals, pummeling anyone who has the audacity to simply disagree with them. I hate to say it, but he made another good point. We got to figure out how to fix this voting situation. There's no accountability. How, you know, the people do not feel confident in the election process right now. There's zero confidence. These cases go into the courts and they just get thrown out right away. So, you know, I don't know what the answer is, but I do know this: we need to appeal to God. He will empower us. He will help make us. He will help us make wise decisions, and He will help encourage us too to be brave. in the face of a powerful enemy. This is a David versus Goliath moment.
Yes,
and we need to stand tall, stand our ground in the face of that powerful enemy. It's insane how powerful the federal government is right now. There's no such thing as private communication right now, except face-to-face with no cell phones present anywhere. I'm telling you, we are living... Yes?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know it right now, but if you're here right now with your cell phones turned on, and you don't have them in a Faraday case, you are now actually communicating with a black box that's tapping everything on your phone. And it's not just tapping it right now, it's going to be tapped when you leave here as well. So you guys probably all know that. You guys are pretty smart, but for those of you who don't, that's a fact. You might notice some of you have a little more of a problem streaming down here. All right, that's one of the causes.
Yep.
Thank you for that. That's a very good point. 8 and 1446. Yes, call your senators about, so it's House Bill 8 and 14. Well, I'm not as knowledgeable at those. I've been focused about the ones in our state house. I haven't been keeping too much track about those ones. So if you would like to, I can hold the... Okay.
I don't like public speaking.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys are following this on the federal level. There's House Resolution 8 and House Resolution 1446. They just passed the House. They're on their way to the Senate. House Resolution 8 essentially makes... Oh, I have to hold it closer. Shit. Sorry, I'm not a public speaker. Okay, so House Resolution 8 essentially makes it so that if I were to hand my weapon to anybody who is not a child of mine, my husband, or a relative of mine, even if I were to just simply hand it to them and let them take it for maybe they need to go hunting or anything like that, that is a felony. You could be charged with a $100,000 fine and a 1-year imprisonment. Now, the thing about House Resolution 1446 is it changes the rules where from the day of enactment of a background check, it used to be 30 days, now it's 25 days. It also changes it from where if you have 10 days now to complete the initial background check. If it's not completed by within 10 days, then there's an additional 10 days provided that they have to petition for the background check to be completed, and then it keeps the 72-hour hold period. Now, the crazy thing about that is the 25 days is 25 continuous days, whereas the 10 days are 10 business days. So at the end of the 10-day and then the secondary 10-day, you're now at 28 days for you to get your weapon, but your background check is no longer legitimate. So it essentially makes it so that you cannot purchase a weapon, period. It doesn't matter if it's a firearm, like they're literally doing it for every firearm out there. And the way they make it sound like it's not infringing on your rights is they say, well, NCIS can process it within 3 days typically. Well, are you going to put your dependence on being able to purchase a weapon on NCIS and a federal agency to finish it within 3 days? Because if they just simply wait the 10 days or the second 10 days, your background check is no good, and that means you can't purchase the weapon, and they can continue that cycle indefinitely. So call your senators about H.R. 1446, call your senators about H.R. 8, because if it passes, it's legitimately making it so you can't purchase a weapon indefinitely dependent on a federal agency.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. It's insane. They're constantly crafting more and more legislation. You can't even keep track of it. And it's all targeting our Second Amendment. Some of it's targeting our First Amendment rights. I don't know what to say. We gotta stand up against it, though. We've got to contact these senators, these congressmen, governors, everyone you can. Reach out to your politicians. I know they're probably not going to listen to us. I can almost guarantee they won't, but we need to at least be able to say that we did try, okay, before other action becomes necessary. So, finally, we have our last speaker here. His name is Steven. He's a concerned patriot. He has some things he would like to speak about. After that, we're going to wrap it up, and if people want to progress to the next event, the Rise Up Washington event, they may. So here you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's very good to see you all here. But we need to be here like in 10,000 people. Because then they will be forced to listen. They're not going to listen to our phone calls, our letters, and our email. We've tried that forever. Now, I taught self-defense classes for decades, women, men, everybody. And I always taught people, if you are under attack from someone who's trying to harm you, at some point, you must stop defending. At some point, your defense must become an offense. Now, there's lots of ways to do that. They are going to continue to strip all the Bill of Rights in the Constitution. We know that. You know that. All right? And they'll try every clever little manipulative legal wording way to do that. But the fact is, they're in a state of war against us. You must understand that. This isn't just a political thing. The intention is to kill us all, one way or another. The vaccines are deadly. Don't let anyone you love or care for take them. We can provide all the information you need. They don't intend to get in a gunfight with us. They intend to kill us off with all other kinds of technology. Your cell phone is the deadliest weapon ever created. All right? They use weather warfare. They use the 5G. They use the vaccinations. We must stop beating a dead horse and take it to another level. Everyone has to decide how to do that. But we need to start with thousands of people back here like we did not long ago. Stay safe. I love y'all. Let's go down there.
All right, y'all. So, we have one last final speaker. She just showed up. I just couldn't. This lady has an amazing. I just couldn't pass it up. Okay, I wanted to wrap it up, but her story is insane. It's amazing. So God bless you. Please, here you go.
Thank you, everybody.
Please introduce yourself too.
My name is Jane Xiu-Hong-Jin. I am a survivor of a Tiananmen massacre. Before 1949. The Chinese Communist Party took over the mainland of China. Chinese people used to have guns, used to be able to go to a street and demand freedom and democracy from its old government, which is called Republic of China. This name is carried by now the government in Taiwan, not in Beijing.
That's right.
What happened in Beijing Communist Party regime-controlled mainland? People lost their rights to have their guns. They murder people in huge hundreds, thousands, and 100,000 of people again and again.
Yep.
This regime, afraid of the people in mainland China, they are so afraid of the people, they did not only ban people's guns, they also banned everybody's knives. They are so afraid of people, they make each person use your fingerprint to buy a knife. This is how a dictatorship regime acts like. I escaped from that dictatorship regime. I very much enjoyed every day my freedom life in the United States. I thank God, thank America, and thank you so much for all of you fighting for the freedom and protect United States constitutional rights, which is included
That's right.
Think about it. If during the Tiananmen massacre, or Hong Kong massacre, or Lhasa massacre, or in Xinjiang massacre, if the people have guns,
that's right.
How that dictatorship regime dare to do things like now in China?
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened.
There's no way the dictatorship can ruling people like slaves, like animals. They can't have people whatever they want. They're ruling on people whatever they want. They put millions of people into prison camp in Xinjiang area. It is including Uyghurs, Tatars, Tajiks, and many other minorities. Now, it's happened many years already. We, as the Chinese Democracy and Human Rights Organization, have been fighting Chinese democracy and human rights here and everywhere else as well. Because human rights issue is not a partisan issue. Freedom issue is not a partisan issue.
That's right.
Both Democrats and Republicans should protect people's rights.
That's right.
Our voting rights, our freedom of speech, freedom of publication, freedom of religion choices, and freedom of having guns.
That's right.
And that is our basic fundamental right.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you. I do not have a gun. I never know how to use them until recently. I, however, support every one of you want to have a gun. I will learn. I shall learn and how to get a gun and know how to shoot in the future. Just in case my rights is violated and somebody want to treat me like a slave in China now. The CCP, Chinese Communist Party regime, infiltrated in the great nation, United States, through money trade, through information stealing, kids, through WeChat, and all its news agencies and database companies. A lot of software, hardware, and online services, even including your USB, if it's made in China, and the automatic cleaning, that auto cleaning carpet cleaner. They all could rebound back to the data and the information and the location and who you are back to Beijing.
Yep. Proven.
This is unbelievable invasion to the United States. We must stop it.
Now.
We need to stop it now, right?
That's right. This is the last vestige of hope.
CCP now! Stop CCP now! Stop CCP now! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Thank you. And we are here. We received a threat from the Chinese Communist Party regime every day. Our Vice President of Federation for Democratic China is assassinated in 1929, in 2019. I'm the headquarters Vice President of Federation for Democratic China, which is established the organization right after the Tiananmen massacre. And I'm the local Chinese Democracy and Human Rights Alliance
Yeah, what's up?
founder
and the
Oh, what's up? Yeah, what's
they
up,
wanted
man?
me because in 1989, Tiananmen Democracy Movement, I was the first person openly shouting down with the Chinese Communist Party in Tiananmen Square. I escaped from China. The regime sent the military to my house and said they want to look for me if I am home and if I am registered resident. And then after the vice president died and someone from Washington State supposed to go with me in Paris. However, because of too much things going on and a lot of organization things and sadness, so I couldn't go. This gentleman went there. Guess what they let him bring back? It's the banner.
I don't know yet. I don't know
both
yet.
left and right for that past vice president. This is what the Chinese regime signal me. They still want me. But I am not fair. I am not afraid of that CCP regime because I have you, the great friend.
That's right.
I shall fight for Chinese democracy and human rights. I will even more fight for American people's freedom and democracy and our constitutional rights.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you, James. We must help James' organization. We must fight the CCP here. We must fight the CCP there. We are the United States of America. We are the pillar of freedom. If we fall, the rest of the world falls. That's a fact. Almost happened in World War II, but we stepped up. We fought. People woke up. We had patriots. All shapes, all colors, all religions, all races. They got in. They fought. The women fought. The men fought. We all got it done. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
I'll talk to you after. We're about to wrap. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank everyone. So the group that put this together was Patriot Pride. So this is our first event. So thank you. We had a lot of support from Patriot Prayer and from Law 3% and from the Proud Boys. So thank all for coming out.
Tommy Miguel down there.
Streamers again. God bless you guys. Thank all the speakers. And I want to give a shout out to the Iowa Washington rally. So their rally is more of like, they're focused on the lockdown. Okay, so that is perfect for their event. So again, actually, right away. The other event, we're only welcome to join them, and I encourage you to. We're going to wrap this up. I think wrap it up real quick. So.
I'm just asking, buddy.
But this bitch is man enough to step up.
Oh, it sounds like he's man enough to get a strap on his ass.
I'm bisexual. I do enjoy that.
Oh! And it all comes full circle!
I'm not ashamed of who I am.
Alright, whatever, man.
That's the society you guys want to build, where you make us
continue living your degenerate lifestyle. It's alright. Self-destructiveness is awesome.
Keep spinning your bullshit.
Keep it away from our fucking children, though.
Yeah, keep spinning your bullshit.
It's a dumbass, like, fucking logo.
Fucking
the dumb flag is beautiful without the stop
Did your
sign.
husband do that?
Fuck Miguel!
Did your husband do that? One, I'm not married. Two, it's none of your fucking business. And three, I had surgery, so shut the fuck up.
Hey.
How many times were you beat? Never.
What's up, man?
Right?
This looks very productive, doesn't it?
What is this? Own it. What is this?
So Miguel, why do you continue to come to our events? You know that it causes disruption. You know you're not really here to report. So why are you here?
Because it works. Because that's the whole point. Jake, the whole point is disruption. All of you came over here to talk to me.
Right.
Well, I mean the event's over.
I won.
No. The event's over. You didn't win anything. You didn't win anything. If anything,
all are over here talking
yeah.
Disruption works. Talking, bitch.
Hey!
That looks nasty.
Oh,
That's a picture, bro.
But again, you didn't win. Our event's over. So again, I'll ask you, as you diverted the question the first time, why are you actually here though? Are you hoping to film someone attacking you, or what? What's the actual optics today?
Right wingers attacking leftists.
Yeah, see that? There it is. See, I didn't even have to call it. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. No. You got the no. The story's all wrong. It's actually leftists who attack rightists at these events.
Okay.
That's why there's people that are armed.
That's a great.
Yeah, but you weren't attacked. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Dude, concrete. Dude, tons of shit.
Here.
We aren't attacking you either.
Bro, you came.
You know how many people were thrown out of your guys' event last night?
You don't respect this First Amendment, so you're scared of words.
Yeah.
Words are not an attack, lady. You're fucking retarded, and that's okay. The Second Amendment is about attack, not the first.
Your hair is nasty, Nate.
So Miguel, what was up with that fight? I heard you're supposed to have a fight. It was prime time, and you didn't show up. That was weird.
You want to know what happened?
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear the excuse.
And I decided to make soup for the houseless and take it down.
Soup for the houseless.
Yeah.
How kind of you.
Yeah.
So kind.
Yeah.
So you guys are so kind to help the houseless out, but when one of us show up to your event, we get beat up. Why is that?
Why do you always go to
what happens when we show up to your rallies?
Because that's what happens. That is what happens. I have proof of it. I do. No, I have proof. I have multiple events of it happening and proof of it. Because our country's in distress because of people like you. No, it's because of people like you. Yeah, it is. Our country's distressed because of people like you who instead of disagreeing with me, you would rather attack me or film me attacking you. That's your disagreement. That's your grift. That's why you're here. You're here to grift. Huh?
Live stream as well. You like to play the pity party.
No.
Dude,
when was the last time I was live at one of your events?
There's no way.
When was the last time I was live at one of your events? When was the last time I was live at one of your events?
There is no way that you did not do that thing on the truck to yourself.
I didn't do it to myself.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Okay, whatever.
No, I didn't. You guys destroyed my car. You guys, as in Antifa, destroyed my car. Yes. You came to my house. You crossed on a private property, and you guys destroyed my truck. That's what happened. There's no narrative shift on this one, Miguel. Yeah, there's no narrative shift on this one, buddy. You guys, you narrative shift everything else, but there's no narrative shift on this. Huh? No. You guys actually lie in your articles. I seen your cute little article you wrote about me too. That was cute. That was cute. It was very articulated like a journalist. Yeah, not really, but
you just said it. So I'm
already on this side of that line.
What is this weird standoff you guys got going on here?
They came over and started harassing us.
Nobody's here harassing them. We're standing here questioning.
Well, I mean, they've made.
Oh, Antifa has their own news network? I didn't know that. Oh, wait,
that's kind of stupid.
What's your favorite color? Yellow?
Mine too! I love yellow.
Isn't that crazy? I thought this guy was supposed to be the poster child of attacking people like you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't he supposed to be the poster child of attacking you? Isn't that the narrative?
Well, hey, that's what they sell now.
Isn't that the narrative, right?
I don't think it's
right.
I don't think anybody should be making fun of anybody. I mean, I'm sure you guys.
Well, we're not making fun of him. We're not making fun of him. I wasn't making. Yeah, I wasn't making fun of you.
You guys have a right to be out here.
I was asking legitimate questions.
I'll make fun of you every single fucking day. Once I push all of you people out of Portland, yeah, then that's the day I'll stop making fun of you.
I'm already out of Portland.
Oh, well, don't worry, you ain't fucking coming.
Well, that's because people like us have put a stop to this up in Olympia and Seattle, so it doesn't happen.
Do you report unbiased news, or are you paid by any organization?
No, I'm not paid by
Do you do fundraising? Do you sell these videos?
He's definitely not unbiased.
So this is just all stuff that you put online. This is
And Griff's with his PayPal and his Venmo. And Griff's with his PayPal and Venmo.
Well, being press is being an actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wrote a nice article about me.
That's what I just asked you. So you are press, but you're using your press credentials to basically come out here.
Yep.
And dox.
Yep. Attack. Attack. Attack.
Don't you stand there and fucking tell me you want to dox me.
Attack.
I got flyers with my fucking picture on it from all your fucking cohorts.
And it literally says
what?
Hey.
That's my other.
Hey, remember the optics of this situation. Just remember. I'm just saying.
You got one person over here. Y'all are coming up.
Nobody's gonna attack you. Nobody's here to attack you, dude. Get over that narrative right now. We don't attack Hunter DeWan. That's you guys.
Who do you think is fascist out here right now? Do you think any of these people are fascist?
And Patriot Prayer, who are both
How is Patriot Prayer fascist? Wait, hold on.
Tattoo on one hand and an Antifa logo.
Hold on, you gave him it. No, you gave him airtime. Come on over this way.
That was run on.
Wait.
This is what's hard about having these conversations with you people. Is like I have all these fucking truths.
What do you mean by you people? What do you mean by you Trump supporters? I'm not even a Trump supporter, dude. No.
Well, what do you now? Did you give up on Trump?
What are you talking about? No.
What do you think about what happened?
What do you mean?
What do you think about
so what? No. What do you mean by you people? First of all, did you just categorize me with any group of people? Did you do a broad sweeping generalization of everyone?
I mean, I'm getting called Antifa. We're doing the same thing.
No, you literally are wearing a badge that says Antifa.
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah.
You have a badge on that says Antifa.
You're confused.
Holy fuck, yeah, I'm an anti-fascist.
You're Antifa.
So
you have Antifa's
not a real
Who is fascist here?
You do.
Who is fascist? Who is authoritarian here?
So how is Patriot Prayer fascist? Let me ask you that. 3% I can almost understand. I can almost understand. Patriot Prayer? Well, how are they fascist? How are they fascist? What's fascist about Patriot Prayer?
What's fascist about Patriot Prayer?
Yeah, what exactly do you find fascist about that?
You guys have any questions for me?
Yeah.
I'm against fascism. I'm against authoritarianism, whether it's communist or fascist. I don't give a shit.
Hey, we're on the same page there. So what's fascist about Patriot Prayer?
I want a free camera. Right here.
You're Antifa.
Antifa!
He likes communism.
I came from
Communism's good?
China.
Yeah. No. Hey, hold on. There's a big difference. I don't like what happens in China either. That's authoritarian. That's authoritarian.
Wait, what?
I came from Beijing, China. I experienced 1989.
My name is anti-fascist. You cannot have an opinion.
And before the Chinese Communist Party took over China, Chinese people used to all have guns. That was under the name of the country. It's called the Republic of China, which is today Taiwan is keeping that name.
Yeah.
And the CCP, Chinese Communist Party regime, took over mainland China. Rip up all the people's rights to have any guns, not even knives.
Well, so here's the big difference, because communism is a form of economy, and therefore, like, I believe in a communist economy, but I don't believe in the authoritarian communist government. That's fucked
But
up.
that comes with that. Yes, it does.
It does not.
Dude,
No, it does not.
every single communist economy had a dictator installed.
That's not true.
Yes,
Dude, you don't know your history, bro. You don't know history, I promise.
Is to have a good name of that, but the inside of the core thing is government control.
Exactly.
So make sure.
Exactly. Yep. Fascist. Fascist.
Explain my political ideas.
Listen to me. The core thing of communism and socialism, the core thing, very important thing, is government control everything. Make sure everybody have a little bit of rights. And they want to make sure code, faith. But what about those money? Where it's coming from?
Yep.
Okay, it's coming from people who are working hard and have creativity. And then their rights, guess what? After Chinese Communist Party took over, they were killed because down with the landlord, down with the bourgeoisism and the capitalism. That's
They
what
fucked up,
happened in
and
China.
it was Mao Zedong specifically. He was a horrible human being.
What I want to say, this core thing you need to know, and it's very, very important. They say good thing, they do worse thing could be. and you cannot imagine. What about if you are the landlord or you are the job creator? You are the
and then after that, let's try to bar I'm trying to get south southwest. It's just so intimidating. What a weird Did it really? Let me get a little zoom in. Let me get
I think I'm gonna walk. Because it's about a half mile. So half mile there, half mile back. It's only a mile.
Are other people bringing their rifles over there?
Yeah, I think they're calling for none of that. I think it's more of a freedom rally.
I think that one guy was walking over there with his rifle.
Oh, was he? They might be going back to their cars. I mean, it is a half a mile down the road.
Yeah, they said they're heading over to Heritage, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, are you going down?
I am.
Okay.
I'm walking with the.
Are you?
These
Are we all?
They're out of town, so they don't know their way around. So.
Are you gonna walk down there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk.
Okay. Okay.
You walking too?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna take a hike. I could use it. Work this foot out. Yeah.
I gotta say, they did surprise me sending the Latino guy. Expected to be a white guy. Yeah, at least it's you. They are branching out.
Branching out. Well, that's the thing. They have their own focus. Right.
Josh.
Oh man.
Let's go. Let's get it. Fuck him. Fuck Miguel. Yeah, it just isn't worth it. Just quit entertaining that fucking kid. The dude's lost. He doesn't even know his own fucking history. Like, you tell him that, well, in order to have communism, you have to have an authoritarian government. Because in order to distribute the people's wealth, you have to have a dictator to do so. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, look at every communist regime in the history of the world. They've had a dictator. Stupid. This makes no sense. And then he wants to talk over the lady that's actually been oppressed by communism.
She wouldn't be out here speaking like that if she
Like, imagine living through Tiananmen Square, dude. None of us have a clue what real fucking oppression's like.
The military was at her house.
Have
and
a
everything
clue,
like that,
dude.
And you got a kid there that's like, well, no, I mean,
yeah,
it's an economic thing.
I'm a third-handed down generation from fucking Guatemala. Like, I was born in the USA. I have no idea what communism and fucking tyranny is.
You told me you crossed the border when you said,
That's what I'm saying. He's a hand-me-down, dude. He wasn't fucking born in Guatemala or Mexico or wherever the fuck he's from. You can't claim communism if you're not from fucking a communist country. That's the one thing I've never understood about them. This feels good today. These shoes are rocking, guys. Mods, are you still with me? Maybe? Okay. Just making sure, because you're quiet. Okay. Is my voice laggy? Like, is it okay. Okay. No, you're good. So what are they doing in Portland? I see all of them are going live. Oh really? It's for Breonna Taylor supposedly. Right. Yeah, a little bit hot. I think the thermal was a little much on 60-degree day. But see what D-La is saying here. What's up, Vonnie? And Merkin and Roxanne. How you doing, Roxanne? Sweetest Viking, thank you for the 1 month. Oh, it was Vonnie that gave that. What's up, Indiana Patriot? Vonnie with another 1 month gifted sub. What's up, Gigi? Soy Free. Sonic Boy. A decent amount of people in here. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. I don't know what for, but hell yeah. What's up, Bubba? Yeah, what's up?
We got Shell in here. She's right there. I'm here with Jake.
Oh, hey, what's up, Shell?
Yeah,
I'm seeing if I see anyone else in there. What's up, guys?
Yeah, we're just making our way down to Heritage Park.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. Oh, it looks like there's a decent crowd down there.
Well,
a few people.
All the way down there, I was early, and then
was there nobody there?
So haul mass.
Damn.
So I'm just gonna work out over there.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was gonna go drive, but I was like, you know what? It's too nice.
Yeah.
I feel really good today. Why not go for a little hike? So how long you been watching?
Shell had me check your channel out maybe a month ago.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen you in and out of there. Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate it. We need all the viewers, spread it all out. We need more of these out here.
Yeah. Check that out. Right now too.
Yep. The gun runner. No, I mean usually it's about the same as the phone. It's just steadier and smoother. So me and Josh both have the same setup. We literally are rocking the same camera, same live view pack, everything. He has the same setup, same backpack and everything.
Nice.
So
I could invest in something like that.
I mean, it's spendy. Like, you know, this backpack probably costs, I don't know, $2,500 probably to get going. But once it gets going, it's only $320 a month. And I mean, as long as I make that to cover it, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's good, clear footage. That smells good. Whatever that is. Wonder who this guy is in front of us. I'm trying to think.
Down to the paddle?
Press boy.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I saw him earlier.
That's my boy right there. Both those dudes I know in front of us, but the guy with the press pattern, I'm trying to think who that is. I think he's a Twitter guy. Because you can You can get donos and shit now from Twitter. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, dude. So I was thinking about setting that up too. It's pretty cool. They have Periscope and everything. Be neat if they had their own monetization settings.
Yeah.
Wow, there is a good group of people out here. And I like this setting better on the lake. Yeah.
There's more tension on the street out there that could be better, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the Capitol is always going to have more attention as far as like.
Generator down here probably.
For real, dude. You could blow it out. The big ass field. How you doing, buddy?
Big chilling. Today's weather is.
Isn't it beautiful? I know. It's so nice out.
Elevate our spirits a little. We need some vitamin D in here. How we can get.
Did you set that thing on your gimbal? Is that what you're doing? That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they didn't want guns. Yeah, they didn't want guns. Otherwise, this would have been one big ass rally. Yeah. Well, nobody should be telling anybody how to protest. Hey, that's Winston Churchill's grandson right here. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the next event here. Got a little more mellower crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. Representative Walsh, are we correct on that number, sir?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about 16 grand.
All right, there you go. So thank you so much, and thanks for being bold enough to come up here and public speak. You, sir.
I'm Rick Shirtleff from Klickitat County, Goldendale, Washington.
Good to see you.
And today is my grandfather's birthday.
Take a visual of this guy over there. The
bald
bald-headed with the green hoodie and the big gun. He's not ours. He's an Antifa.
My
Just take a
granddaughter
visual of
Mavis
the camera.
just started kindergarten from home.
The guy who's talking with the lady with the cowboy hat behind the
He's no good, huh?
He's no good. He's dangerous. He's muttering to himself. He's pointing the gun at me and others. So just get a look and tell the others to observe him.
Okay, Roger.
Have them be able to learn what they need to learn and get all of the right people in the right places with good conservative values and family values, and bring our kids up to love America, to be free citizens, to be free thinkers, and to be able to make choices for themselves. Governor Inslee, take off your mask!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've been so patient today. I've got one more person who would like to come up and speak for 2 minutes. Do we have 2 minutes to give her? Yeah! All right. She's with the People's Rights Organization. Well, actually, that's what got me started. 6 years ago, my son, Cleve Rengo, was taken to court for home birthing twins. At the time, he had a child that wasn't quite 1 year old. That child's name is Unity. Unity, I want everybody to know, is a child. President Trump at his Mount Rushmore speech 39 minutes in said, "We will find Unity like no one expected." And when he said that, God opened up the gate to the swamp in the state of Washington for corrupt CPS. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, Supreme Court judges in Whatcom County and all through the state and America, and the public defenders, the commissioners, all judges in my son's specific case were corrupt. And God blessed me with an unredacted police report to show it and prove it. I can't get my word out because my son is absolutely quashed, and we want all American children that want to come back home out of the CPS swamp to come back home. We want Unity to make the charge on that. He's my 7-year-old grandson that I haven't seen for 4 years, and I want him home now with his 4 siblings. Thank you very much. Okay, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Melanie Gabriel, can you come on up? We're going to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Melanie.
You want to go ahead and introduce who you are to this crowd here?
Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Melanie Gabriel. I am 13 years old and in the 8th grade. I've been fighting to open schools. I've been fighting to open schools for almost a year, probably about a year now. It has been a long, hard fight, and I'm not going to give up until we have full 5 days in school.
Good job!
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks so much. And we're going to hear more from Melanie in just a little bit. Thanks so much, Melanie. Okay, now we have a special treat today. My good friend of how long, Carrie? Oh my gosh. We'll give away our ages here. She has an amazing voice, and she's going to lead us with the national anthem a cappella, right? All right, fantastic. Take it away.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's go. Well done.
Play ball. No, excuse me. Was that not fantastic? All right. All right. So, oh my gosh, I'm up now. All right. So, you know, this event, I got a kind of a late notice. Well, actually, it was on Thursday. I got a heads up that, you know, we might have some trouble. And so I took that kind of seriously. But I want to share with you a verse that came to mind. Now, mind you, I don't care what your spiritual persuasion is. I happen to think that the Bible has some good advice to anyone. And it was, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. And so frankly, that's why we didn't cancel this event today, and that's why we're out here today. So, with that, I wanted to kind of explain, first of all, what we are not, and then what we are. Well, what we are not is a right-wing group. What we are not is a racist group. What we are not is a hateful group. What we are not is any of those labels that they try to pin on us. What we are Americans who care about our neighbors, who care about our friends, who care about our families, our children, and who actually care about those who would oppose us and try to censor us. So, am I right there? Yes. Am I right? Okay. And another thing that we're not is that we're not particularly anti-government. We're not anarchists, nor are we socialists and pro-government. I'd like to read a quote from Henry David Thoreau, because I think this kind of explains what we are. But to speak practically and as a citizen, unlike those who call themselves no-government men, I ask for not at once no government, but at once for a better government, Let every man or woman make known what kind of government would command his respect, and then that will be one step toward obtaining it. Are we in agreement with this?
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. Well, then I think we're also in agreement with the idea that liberty is essential. And I think that's another reason why we're out here today. Let me remind you that America declared and fought a war once for independence from tyranny of a king. And lest you forget, or lest you did not learn this in your 8th grade civics class, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers of the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Can anybody tell me what document that came from?
Declaration of Independence.
Oh, thank you. You get a gold star, Carrie. It seems time once again to declare our independence. We are being demanded to trade freedom for security.
Never.
But another founding father once said those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have lost our way. Apathy and complacency are enemies of justice and freedom.
Yep.
And Americans have been apathetic and complacent for far, far too long.
Yep.
We have allowed every system and institution in our country to become fatally corrupted. And what I see today, or what we see today, I should say, is a consequence of that corruption, and frankly, by extension, a consequence of our apathy and complacency. Our schools, our courts, and our political institutions are all in a state of morbid decay and plunder. Am I exaggerating here, ladies and gentlemen?
No, you are not.
No, I don't think so. What we are witnessing today is a controlled demolition of the middle class, and by extension, the poor as well. I would call it a wealth redistribution, wealth, power, property redistribution, which frankly started, well, actually, it didn't start 10 years ago. It started a long time ago, but the recession, kind of accelerated things. Small businesses are the economic engine of our country and our state. They employ, back when I was running for office, they employ approximately 53% or 54% of the workforce was employed by small businesses. COVID has been weaponized against these same small businesses, against our communities, against our churches, against our families, and frankly, against our most prized asset. What is that? Our children. Do I hear agreement?
Yes!
I just checked to see if you're awake out there. In Washington, more of our children have died as a consequence of COVID restrictions,
Yep.
as Melanie will describe in a few minutes, than from COVID itself. COVID has been a catalyst to not only destroying and redistributing our wealth, it's also been used as a reason to redistribute our power from the individual to the collective. But it's all to save us, right? Our freedoms to assemble, work, educate, worship, and move about freely have all been stripped from us. I've got to make a little point here. I have to say today that the Capitol Security came and talked to me, I have to give a hat tip to them. We're out here today. They allowed us, but you know, we got to have our PA system. The gentleman that spoke with us said that he believes strongly in freedom of speech, so here we are today. So, you know, there are some people working over there that aren't so bad. So, even our freedom to share information or challenge these directives has been virtually stripped from us. As we heard earlier today, even promoting this event the other day, who else has gotten one of these? The fact checkers have determined, you know, I'm paraphrasing, that whatever you're sharing, who the heck are these faceless fact checkers? Who the heck are they? But anyway, you know, you get one of the little fact check things. So they're stripping of us of our ability to even communicate information. COVID has also been used to divide us against one another. Now, I happen to think, you're not gonna believe this, but you know how I got my political start? I grew up Southern Baptist, although I haven't been to church in quite a while because this is kind of what I do now. God kind of called me into it. But I was a Southern Baptist Republican. And then in about 2009, 2010, you know, I had a calling. And it was the start of the recession. And I found myself, you're going to gasp at this, rubbing elbows with folks on the left down in Seattle with Occupy. And you know something? Some of what I heard them say was the same stuff I heard around my kitchen table and talking to my family and my friends. And I remember my son at the time, he was 4 years old, and I took him with him, poor little guy, he's 13 now, had a sign. This is not a left or a right.
Thank you for the $50 super chat.
Issue. This is a corruption issue. Ladies and gentlemen, they are working to divide us. It's intentional. So keep that in mind when you're talking to folks that you believe are the quote-unquote opposition or your enemy. We are Americans. We are not enemies of each other.
That's right. That's right.
These kids, and I'll call them kids, I'm 50 years old, I have that license. These kids who are putting on the black stuff and marching, do you realize that their parents lost everything in the recession? A lot of times. Their parents lost their homes, their equity. These kids found themselves saddled with student debt. They are angry. And the media and the powers that be want to divide us amongst each other so that we don't pay attention to what's going on behind the veil.
Let's go.
So ladies and gentlemen, you know this truth. So when you interact with these guys, remember to speak the truth in love. Let me continue with my speech. I don't know, I got amped up there.
Let's go.
COVID has been used to divide us. I had my own moment of fear. I'm generally a pretty courageous person, actually, and was called into politics back in 2009. But in February of this last year, COVID hit my community. I happen to be from Kirkland. It hit the long-term care facility in my community. And I'll have to tell you, immediately I was gripped by fear. I mean, some of you might have known me. I'm pretty vocal on Facebook. I was saying, hey guys, don't go to church. There's something going on here. I was pretty freaked out. And then after about 2 months, I kind of started watching the data and I started, you know, researching this a little more. And then my husband and I, in about May, we decided, you know, something doesn't seem right. We're going to travel the country. And we did. We traveled the country, 20 states, 5 major cities. And we realized, you know, things just didn't match up. So I understand the idea of being gripped by this fear. And fear sometimes makes you angry and it makes you irrational. It makes you do things that maybe you wouldn't generally do. So I think we have to be sympathetic to that. But the truth, it's been said that the truth shall set you free. Frankly, during that 2 months, that was the most miserable time I've had in 10 years. I mean, because, you know, like I say, I got called into politics. I've been fearful, or not fearful, I've been fearless. And I was struck with this fear. I was paralyzed. I couldn't even, I was quiet. You know, Carrie, I was quiet on Facebook, wasn't I? I wasn't seeing my kids. I wasn't, because I was fearful. That's how a lot of these folks are. But the truth of the situation was revealed to me. And it snapped me out of my depression and my despair. So ladies and gentlemen, please be patient with some of these folks. They are legitimately fearful. And the reality is, with this COVID, it's so unpredictable. We don't really understand. So the fact that when you're dealing with something you don't understand, and particularly when you have media fanning the flames of fear and what I would call monetized hysteria, you know, that's what's going on here. So we need to speak the truth in love, with patience, find common ground. We are Americans. This is our country. And we need to have that sort of humbleness, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, as Thomas Jefferson once said, the earth belongs to the living. We must rise up and live. Do I hear rise up and live? Rise up and live. Wherever the darkness of lies, destruction, and death creep in to conquer and destroy, we must courageously charge forward, united with the torch of freedom, casting light of truth and love wherever we go, because we are the patriots of a new age. And God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and wisdom. We must push back upon those who would turn us into subjects of a totalitarian New World Order and initiate the Great Reset, as it has recently been called. Today is the day we rise up Washington. We rise up Washington off her knees. Make no mistake, there is a war going on. It's a war for the heart and soul of our great nation, and I happen to think Washington State is a battleground state. The war is between those who would sow lies, destruction, hate, death, and the people deceived by them, and those standing for liberty, truth, love, and life. And frankly, it's not hard to see. No longer will we passively comply with mandates and edicts that are stripping us of our right to life, liberty, and happiness, and are killing the human spirit and our soul. No. Today we pledge to restore liberty and take back our institutions and our state. We are united. We stand firm against the deception and the oppression. The most powerful weapon we have in this fight to take back our state is our Constitution. Both our U.S. and our state. Yes. And libertarian attorneys, and other attorneys as well, I just happen to be a libertarian, are the thin black line between us and tyranny. They are in fact the front line. Support them with your time and your money. Do not believe the lie that all attorneys are bad. That is yet another cleverly spun lie. Attorneys should be called to the front lines now. That said, today is the day each of us becomes enlisted and committed to the cause of liberty in our state. It is time to rise. Do I hear rise? Rise! 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 But what do I mean by rise? Is it just rhetoric? Does it mean that I charged the Capitol and knocked down the fences? Does it mean that I marched the streets with an AR-15? Does it mean that I counter violence with violence? No, ladies and gentlemen, that is a fool's game. And we've recently seen how that plays out. Many well-meaning patriots have fallen into the hands of the very entities that are destroying this country. No, that is a losing strategy. After witnessing the violent history of struggle between tyranny and liberty, our founding fathers created for us a system by which we could execute a non-violent revolution by participating in our judicial and our legislative systems. Oh, what about the fraud, you say? We must engage in such an overwhelming way that the margins are so great that stealing elections will be virtually impossible. Ladies and gentlemen, in King County, there are 314 open seats right now. Some of those seats have under 1,000 registered voters. If you doorbell, meet the voters, I can almost guarantee you will win. And why will you win? Is it because you're a Republican? No. Is it because you're a libertarian? No. Is it because you're a patriot? No. It's because you cared enough to go to that door and to listen to that person. That's why you will win that seat. So that's what we need to do. From dog catcher to President of the United States, we need to recruit, train, and equip candidates and their teams. We must rise above party politics and political rhetoric and focus on issues and the integrity and the capabilities and the electability of the candidates. We must participate in our local and state politics. We must attend hearings. We must become personally familiar to elected officials, like Representative Walsh here. I met Jim several years ago, and I think, Jim, I've been pushing you and pushing the legislature, and it doesn't work. I think it works. So, you need to become familiar with your officials. Email them, call them, organize support for legislation, organize support for when they run for office. We must also reclaim our courts. Jay Inslee has appointed 111 judges in Washington State. We saw the consequences of this as the courts overruled the will of the people and killed our $30 car tax. We must help. Oh, I'm sorry, Carrie. We must have court watchers who actually watch the courts and share with the public how these judges are ruling. We need attorneys to step up and run for judicial seats. We need to fund and support those campaigns and purge judges who deviate from upholding the Constitution. In the meantime, we need to raise funds for legal services and bail bonds for people who are unjustly accused or mired in the labyrinth of arbitrary and capricious modern-day legal system. We must engage charitably in our communities. There are hundreds of thousands of people suffering as a consequence of the massive wealth, power, and property redistribution in the state and country. The Great Recession wiped out billions in the middle-class wealth and displaced 500,000 people from their homes in Washington State alone. We have redistributed over $10 billion to quasi-charitable organizations meant to help the homeless, but basically being routed to these organizations as a part of the homeless industrial complex. And yet, we have tents popping up like mushrooms across the state. People have lost, across the street, people have lost their jobs, their homes, and ladies and gentlemen, their hope. And they often, when they lose these things, they may turn to vices. If I lost everything, you know, there's a possibility I might turn to a vice to get me through the day. They're struggling with the emotional and physical pain of life. We must take responsibility for our communities voluntarily, or ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you the government will fill the void for you if you don't fill that void. They will use it as a further opportunity for plunder without actually helping the very people they purport to be saving. I've seen this play out for 10 years. Again, every system an institution in this country and this state, in my opinion, has become fatally corrupted. So we must rise up and purge our systems and institutions of this corruption. It's going to take time and money to do this, and it's going to start in our neighborhoods and our local communities. Now I'm going to end here with something that's going to actually sound a little bit harsh. If you call yourself a patriot, but you're not giving 2 hours a week in some way to your community or to the effort, or you're not contributing $20 a month, the cost of a pizza, to the effort, in any way that you want, any effort or organization or candidate, if you're not doing these things, I'm going to challenge your true level of patriotism. We blame the politicians for our current crisis. We can blame Big Corp. We can blame media. We can blame Big Tech. And we can blame our neighbor next door. However, the blame lies with us. So with that, I want to challenge you after today to go home and find out what you can do to rise up and take back this state. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Brew with Rise Up Washington.
Hey, it's the Portland. Yeah. I'm just saying. This is the first sunlight we've seen in forever. Stop talking about people's glow. Okay?
We have. Okay, so I'm calling here support, but it's not never been, I like to follow the steps of what media.
It's the guy going in circles, you know.
Where did Josh go?
And you never know. That's like if, let's say, my home was being attacked or I was being attacked on the street, and then you don't know my story and I'm wearing my gun, then what gives you that right to prejudge me without knowing my story? That's the problem. Everybody don't know each other's stories, and we're always constantly prejudging each other based on our
Converge is over there.
But I feel like when I see people looking like they're going to the paintball range, I feel like I have a pretty good idea what their story is.
How do I find my footage from today? Just open the menu and put the code in. Okay, you did.
Hey guys, thank you for the $50 PayPal from Cindy and the $10 from Cheryl. Appreciate it, you guys. And there's also a $50 super chat that I missed in YouTube. Thank you very much, you guys. Really do appreciate it. And you guys, I kind of want to say, because I haven't really had a chance to, I guess, say anything like one-on-one with fans, but just be patient, guys. I think everybody kind of knows the tactics are changing. So as far as like our regular schedule that we've been doing, as far as like the way we've been going about things, is going to be a little different. But I just ask that you guys be patient. I haven't given up. If you guys don't see anything about Antifa for a week or two, don't think that that I've given up and I'm not going to cover them anymore. I just have a lot of things in the works. Can't really talk about it, but I just want to let you guys know, kind of hold on there, keep being loyal fans, and just know that if you guys want me to keep providing stuff to you, you guys have to just be patient and wait on it, okay? I had a lot of people that were messaging me, PMs and whatnot, and asking, if I'm okay, if my mental health is okay and whatnot. I'm okay. I'm fine, guys. A truck is a materialistic item, and I honestly I can live without anything besides my family, God, in this country, and my friends, my mods, anyone that's in my life that appreciates me is way more important than any materialistic item that I own. So to make the notion that I'm somehow upset or dropping out of the race or whatever have you, it's not true. Just hold on, be patient. Good things are to come, okay, guys? We have a lot of good things in the works. So just be patient and have faith. I haven't given up. I'm not going to give up. And a silly little truck isn't getting destroyed in my front driveway isn't going to stop me. So just remind yourselves that. And see what's going on over here.
Well, glad you do. But why do you trust just random people with guns, though?
Like, it's that demeanor. I think that's what makes that presence. Because, okay, 99% of gun crime that happens in this country are not done by law-abiding citizens.
Sure, fine.
So if you have a whole bunch of people out here open carrying, odds are they're law-abiding citizens. Because you're not gonna find somebody who's gonna go
big facts. But still be like have a bit of a trigger finger and a little bit of you want some adrenaline.
You could.
Statistically, it doesn't prove that.
Statistically, the very first ever shooting at a gun store happened a week ago or a month ago, but it never happens. You never have a shooting at a Second Amendment rally. You've never had a shooting at the NRA. You've never had a shooting at places where law-abiding citizens are gathered with firearms. It has never. That's happened once. Shoot now, huh?
You're not going to shoot your own.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to. What you just said, I think, is a big deal, though. You're not going to shoot your own because what the thing is, I think we missed the point is that we're representing all people. All people. Our own is these are all American citizens right now here in America. Anyone else as well, but they're all people, right? Even though we're debating, they're our own. Yeah, that's. We look at it. We're debating. We don't agree on everything, right? But you're still one of our own. Every single person here would defend you with their lives if something were to happen.
Well, I don't want you to, but thanks.
But we would, though. That's the point. That's the point.
We'll actually have your back because you're a human being.
There's he was
you're
using
not knees down and hands up. You're going to get attacked.
He was using language that said with their lives, right?
Like a man and a woman.
I will defend you. I'm not going to put my life on the line for you. That's the difference, right? Nor should you for me. That's too much, right?
That's reasonable.
I don't think it is.
But a lot of
it's reasonable, even though we might not agree. It's a
he's talking burning building situation. I think that's you guys are going to fist
I don't know you. Why would I die for you? Certain people are wired that way. Certain people aren't, and that's.
Do you carry?
That's what I mean.
You don't carry, huh? No.
There's no need for it.
Right. What happens when the day comes? Let's just say, heaven forbid, I would never wish anything upon you, ever, seriously. What happens when you are robbed at gunpoint?
I mean, I've been robbed, not at gunpoint, but at knife point a couple of times. It happens. But you just keep. I've had my business broken into, completely wiped out, and then gone, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna armor up the fucking place and get guns and stuff. It's just not.
But at what point? Would you
just don't ever take a stand?
Would you? At what point would you?
It's not about not taking a stand. It's about.
But it's not even about taking a stand. At what point would you put bars on your windows? If they broke into your place every day,
there's bars and being like I'm gonna turn it into security Fort fucking Knox, or I'm gonna hire some dudes to just monitor outside.
I think you're coming down to level of protection. Really, I think commonly if you look at you right now, you have a gun as a woman, what's that whistle for around your neck?
Oh, this whistle?
Yeah. That's typically referred to as a rape whistle, though, right?
Yeah, this is my first line of the
So, do you feel?
They got a chance to come first.
Do you feel safer having protection as a woman in the world? Do you feel like carrying a weapon keeps you safer?
Yeah.
Okay. Even the whistle is something to allow people to know that there might be trouble.
It's like having a cell phone on you. You feel comfortable knowing you can grab that to call
Some people won't leave their house without a cell phone, so it's a level of protection, I think. So, like you said, bars.
But there's some people that need it more than others, right? I'm not.
No, we all have the right to protect ourselves.
That's what's great about the Second Amendment.
We have a lot of rights to do a lot of insane shit that we want to.
They've got security all around them. They've hired their own security. They're doing what they're telling us not to do. They're telling us not to protect ourselves, but they're steady putting a wall around themselves and blinding themselves with security.
The government, any government official, they don't go anywhere without security and guns.
I don't know what's going on at your Capitol, but yeah.
You don't know what's going on at the Capitol?
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't live here, man. But
okay, I'm talking about the national Capitol right now. I mean, there's an 8-foot fence around it with armed militia around it.
Sure, because insanos busted in thinking they were gonna like. Put their
yeah, but what's the threat now? What's the threat now? That's the problem.
Well, hold on. Let's remember this. We are a republic, and we are founded on God. One nation under God. I don't give a damn who you believe in, but this country is for God, and He is at the top, our Lord and our Savior.
Then let's not treat a game show host like he's God.
I know, get Biden the hell out of there. I mean, that's not in the decline.
You know what I meant when I said game show host.
Slid right past it.
All right, are we good? All right.
But really, check out.
I mean, I'm from the area, but I'd only come back occasionally. So yeah, I haven't been here in a while.
It's changed though, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's sad, man. Like I was up by Ensign and then like all that, and this over here and stuff.
It was like, come on
changed, and you know, I'm not going to begrudge these people for doing what they have to do and different stuff. But something's got to change at the top level so that shit like this, you know, like won't happen because people will be able to do what they do.
Because now we have Biden. People didn't want Trump. We have Biden. You think he's going to be able to change
it? I don't know that he's not going to be able to do anything because, you know, like think of your life year after year after year after, like, you know, Bush or Clinton, Bush, Obama, whatever. Your life has not materially changed like year after year because of who's in office, right? Like you're kind of making your own change as far as stuff like that goes. So whatever. Like shit's like Zeno tweets at 4 in the morning, so like that's fine. I'll take that, right? The thing of it is that people are scared about Biden. He's a feckless, ineffectual, just nothing, right? He's just a blank. So like he's not gonna get in. He's not gonna turn us into some like.
He signed 35 executive orders in the first 45 days of office. That's
reversing a lot of things that hadn't gone into effect that Trump did executive orders on. You and I are going to agree that executive orders are bad.
Yeah.
There's too many of them.
Yes.
Right? Because Congress has ceded their power and they're not doing anything any longer. And they've given all their power to
That's
the president.
dictatorial rule, is what it is.
This is what I was saying earlier. You weren't here, but
That's what
we're going to agree on way more shit than we're going to disagree on, right? But like, what we're agreeing on is like big picture shit is fucked type stuff, right? But like when you say like, the executive orders and stuff like that, right? Like that's him doing those things is a response to Trump doing a bunch of shit, right? Doesn't matter who did it, doesn't matter who it was. But we can all agree that too many executive orders is a problem, right? And that the power that is like landed in the presidential seat is problematic, right?
Yeah.
That position should not have so much power. Congress is a bunch of fucking cowards for the last 40 years, and they've given away their power.
For sure, but Trump didn't rule by executive order, and that's one thing that you have to understand. Like someone who
you get into the numbers that I don't know, and you probably don't either, right?
I do. He signed 8 in his first 45 days of office, and Biden signed 35.
Okay,
and
I'm going to believe you.
That's it's factual. And here's the problem.
But we agree.
Is when
we
you have
don't need to argue about the shit we agree about, man.
Well,
what you guys have right now is the best quote I've ever heard was we can agree on the disease and we can agree on the symptoms, but nobody seems to be able to agree on the cure.
That's what's so maddening to me.
Figure it out. But we're all looking at the same problem. It's just different tactics and procedures to get to.
Well, I think some people disagree on that there is even a problem in the first place, right? Like when you have she was saying something earlier about COVID being fake, or I'm distilling a little bit, but like there needs to be a level of agreement of what the problem is in the first place, right? So.
But what do you think? What do you think the problem is? What do you generally? Because obviously there's a lot of little problems. What do you think is like the main problem right now?
Like I think that the left and the right, like the far left and the far right, could come together on the like populist left and right could come together on this stuff if they could agree on who the enemy was.
Yeah.
I think the enemy is big business and fucking rich assholes, right? And forgive me if I'm characterizing, but I think that the far right believes that it's immigrants or like some other kind of boogeyman problems that aren't really problems, right? Or that would solve them. If we could if the far right that voted for Biden, or sorry, that voted for Trump, right, could have, and forget the socialist shit for a second, right? If they could get behind Sanders, right? Not really a Sanders guy, but like, there's a lot more overlap there than they want to agree on, or that they want to.
I have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Generally, his policies weren't my policies, but they. A lot of the things that he was talking about, Trump was talking about, and actually stole a couple of things from. But
I mean, he actually gives a shit, right? And he's not just a self-aggrandizing, narcissistic asshole. So, like, there's a difference. And
but isn't what's good for Trump good for all of us?
No, because he lives in a fucking mansion, man. He was handed a silver. He was born.
But he's done more for the middle class than any other president in history.
Real talk. I'm saying. Who don't want to live in a mansion? I do.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I was just saying, like, he's done more for the middle working class than any other president in history, besides maybe arguably FDR. Maybe.
Okay, so like I said earlier, like, what has fundamentally changed year after year after year in your life because who was in office?
My parents actually made more money under Trump and had more money in their wallets. So did I, actually, too. My business made more money. I had less taxes. Generally, I did better under Trump than I'm doing now,
we're
even.
We're going to go through, like, ups and downs.
Yeah.
But, like, who's there and like what's in place, it just doesn't. It just doesn't have a lot of material effect.
See, and I think that's why there's such a strong opposition between us right now, is because there was 80 million people that voted for Trump for a reason. There's a reason they voted for him, and it's not because he's, anti-immigration or a racist or a bigot or a meanie head or whatever we want to call him. I don't think that's why people voted for him. I think they voted for him because they saw a real candidate that was expecting to hold people accountable, and that's something that doesn't happen.
The second time, right? This the most recent one.
I'm talking about Trump. I'm talking about Trump as opposed to any other president. I mean, as far as in modern day history.
Sure.
I mean, if you're a business owner, you should know. I mean, you did better under those 4 years than probably since. Yeah, and the stock market booming, and I mean the economy generally.
Obama took it away. We didn't have no living costs raised during Obama. Trump started that again, and we still have yet to catch up because Congress wouldn't vote for that whole gap fill-in and stuff. But at least we started again, so it does make a difference. Yes, I got more back on taxes. I got more in my business, so it's like. You got to think too, the other politicians who took out what we the black community are good for, which is skilled labor. We had factories and things. That's when the black community, we was in middle class, but they took that away. So now you got Trump bringing that back.
It's not the government taking. Okay, Trump came in and he said, "I'm going to bring all these jobs back from China and do all this stuff." Right? Trump can't bring those jobs back from China.
He did, though. Statistically, he did, though.
I don't want to have a referendum on Trump.
No, wait.
I really
you
don't.
can go home and look this up, but he stopped that outsourcing and brought it back over here. So that instead of outsourcing to China more jobs for them to make our stuff, we started doing our own shit here.
That's pull
up the numbers.
No, but it's just basic economics.
But that's what makes the argument.
See, here's the problem. You guys are you're blaming the government for letting the jobs go. The government's not the problem.
Who just shut down the pipeline?
The government's not.
Who just shut down the pipeline?
As a business owner, it doesn't make any sense for me to employ you for $23 an hour to do a thing when I can send it to India or China and have someone do it for $5 an hour.
And that's an issue. That's an issue.
Yes.
That is an issue.
So you want the government to institute policies?
No, I want the government to take away the policies that they had.
That were restricting business. Exactly.
It sounds like you want the government to restrict businesses.
No, we want them to lift them. That's the problem. Is they're making more.
If the government lifted the restrictions, like all of these jobs, all the call center stuff, all of the manufacturing, it all go over there. It already has, man. The reason that Pennsylvania, Ohio, all these states in this area or that area are all fucked is because the businesses were like, oh wait, we can just ship the jobs over here and we're going to make so much money.
And why do you think that was,
when
though?
Everybody does what's in their own best interest, then everybody's going to get fucked.
Why do you think our jobs were shipped to China?
What's that?
Because our jobs are shipped to China because of globalization. We can agree, right?
Sure.
Okay. Taking advantage of a laborious industry, which is basically what happens in China. Like that's a labor industry. That's all China is. Okay. When you have that, when you don't have that equal ground, like between us and other countries, we get bought out. That's a problem, and that's something Trump addressed. That's like, I almost feel like the I'm not calling you the left. I'm not calling you the left. I'm saying just in generally, I feel like the left doesn't understand that he actually did make a huge impact here, and it's not arguable, dude. It's statistically proven that he made it.
He did it simply. Like, we used to have the highest corporate tax code in the world. We had the highest corporate tax rate globally.
35%.
Nobody else is higher. He brought it down to 27% from 35. Okay, that's a big thing. And then secondly, though, he started charging tariffs. China was tariff free, but they charged us. They charged us to send stuff over there, but we take China stuff, no big deal.
Do you understand how the tariffs work?
100%.
Okay, I'm not because people who say that the tariffs are a good thing, they're a bad thing, because we end up paying for the tariffs in the end. Okay, so
depends on how you employ them.
Cards on the no, because
it does. Because if there's other rules to go along with it, it makes it different.
On my business, I make board games, right? This is my job. I produce board games and sell them all over.
That's pretty cool. Actually, that is pretty cool. Actually, it's unique. Yeah,
I have to make them in China.
Yeah.
And I'm on all these Facebook groups, and at least once a week, somebody comes in like, I'm going to make board games, and they're like, but I'm going to be a patriot, and I'm going to make them in the United States, and they get 50 people saying, fuck it, like, you don't even bother, right? Because you can't do it, because you'd have to sell your game for $5,000 or some shit, right? Okay, so the tariffs go in, right? Now I get fucked because I gotta port my shit over here, right? Because I'm bringing it in from China, right? I'm not paying for that.
Exactly.
You pay for that.
Exactly.
No.
No, I understand. I understand.
Like you end up paying for it. No, but the Chinese aren't paying for it. The business.
Do you know what that in turn does, though?
We are paying for it.
Do you know what happens when you hike tariffs? It requires that people stop doing business out of state. That's literally what those are for. It's so that, well, when you're not able to do business anymore in China, you have to bring that back home. That was the idea of the tariffs in the first place. Do you understand?
With the tariffs, it's still more economical to do the stuff in China and to port it over and to ship it over, even with the astronomical shipping fees.
Not with the tariffs that Trump was doing.
Yeah, it still is. Because in that short period of time, I can't bring, or like if I outsource my manufacturing, but like a lot of companies, they do it in-house or whatever, right? Like they would have to shut down their stuff, rebuild a thing, hire people in Tennessee or wherever they want to do it, right? And India, and then it's not economical. It's still more economical to keep the shit over in China and then pass the tariffs on.
Not if there's tax breaks to go with it as well. Tax breaks. But there's also tax breaks for your business, and it compiles.
Where I just said the black community was middle class until those factories was taken. So now you're going to tell me that I'm supposed to be happy that China gets what we the black people they're marching down in these
Preach it, girl. Preach it.
No, but hold on. You're saying about the tariffs, but you're arguing on the point that's really
let me drop the tariffs and then we raise the minimum wage.
But let me explain to you exactly how it works. Because simultaneously, as soon as we put those tariffs in place, we had corporations moving, I'm talking simultaneously moving to Vietnam and Thailand, which were having much better trade deals, which we're not going to have those tariffs. So it worked. So
what did it work? What did it do though? It was so just you're saying it worked as strictly an anti-China measure. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, if that's your goal, then fine.
Yeah.
If the goal is to fuck China and you want to be explicit about that, then fine, right? But work. There's no work because so you move it to Thailand or wherever, and that's fine. And maybe things stay the same or the prices stay the same on your Panasonic or your whatever the fuck, right? But it didn't do anything for the American people. It didn't accomplish anything. And at the worst, it made shit more expensive here. That's what it did. But I had to raise my prices because of the tariffs.
So you don't think that China's an economical threat to the United States?
Oh, see, this is yes, we can agree on these things.
Right.
Come out with that thing. So tell me that your goal was to fuck China, not our goal was to help the American producer or whatever, right? Because it wasn't.
Right.
But that's the presentation. The presentation.
But in the long term, it was in the long term. It wasn't a short term deal.
It's not though.
It will, though. It will. I promise you. Yeah.
More long term, because
economists knew what was going to happen, and as a business owner, I knew what was going to happen, and it did.
So do you? Okay. So we'll live by your standards for a second. Do you think that we should continue outsourcing jobs and revenue and taxes and everything? Okay. So we should continue the way we're going, right? Well, here I have a point. So we should continue the way we're doing things, right? Before Trump.
I don't like the way that you're presenting the argument, but I'll roll with it.
Well, no, I want to hear what you have to say. I mean, like, what do you have a solution, or do you?
I mean, other than no, I don't think. I think it's one of those horse out of the barn kind of things, and I don't think there's any real good solution except for going hard isolationist or something like that, right? Where like I don't think
like 1940s type shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that there's because as long as we are like that old adage about like America's not a country, it's a corporation. I mean, it's true, right? I mean, we are run by the corporations, and
right now, yes, we are. You're right.
Best interest of the corporations, and as long as it's in the best interest of the corporations to have their banking offshore, have their manufacturing offshore, and incorporate in the Maldives or wherever the fuck, right? Like, then they're going to keep doing it because it's how they're going to make more money. Like we have one benchmark we have one way to tell whether someone or a person or a company in the world is winning, and it's money, right? There's no other way to
yeah.
We don't
capital gain.
Yeah. Any other like winning.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as money defines what we are, what this country is, the corporations are going to keep doing what they're doing, and unless you want to like get government really involved, which would be the only way to do it, you're going to keep having this globalization. And so the people that are angry about globalization, that's fine. Like they can be mad that they lost their manufacturing job in Pennsylvania, and that's perfectly legit to be mad about it. But they're mad at the wrong things. They're mad. They should be mad at the companies and taking it out on the companies instead of taking it out on the government. Or they could say, okay, well, I want the government to do something about this. But on one side of their mouth, they're saying, government, get out of every place, get out of the corporation, and get out of my bedroom, and get out of the thing. But at the same time, they're saying, I want protectionist. I want you to institute these tariffs, and I want you to institute these things that will ostensibly help farmers in Kansas, except they fuck them, and all this stupid stuff. So, like, which is it? Like, they have to decide whether they want government to come in and say, you need to keep all your shit in house, and unless you have such and such percentage of your company in the United States, you can't sell anything in the United States. Or they say, fuck it, let's open the doors even wider and just embrace globalization, because that horse is out of the barn.
Can we agree on something that government did have a huge hand in the corporate takeover of America?
Oh, they greased the skids for sure.
Okay.
Right? Okay. They were greasing the skids for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And occasionally they have to come in and like put a little like polish on the thing and be like, no, wait, little guy, we're in it for you too. We're gonna help you guys, right? Meanwhile, like, no.
But shouldn't we hold them accountable as well? I mean, like, don't you think they're equally as responsible as billionaires?
Yeah,
I mean,
well, okay.
I mean, right?
Yes, except that's not the message that I'm hearing from the right. What I'm hearing is the government.
I agree.
And then they say,
you have a lot of uneducated people on both sides, though.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, I mean, just like Antifa wants to burn America to the ground, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
All right.
You know what I mean? Like that.
I appreciate
that's never going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, we're never going to burn America to the fucking ground. They know. I mean, come on. I mean,
I'd be down for it. The problem, no, yes, government allowed all this shit to happen, and then they throw some token shit at us occasionally to say like, oh, we're going to protect the business and stuff. But what the problem that I have with the people on the right about this stuff is that they hold up,
centralize the anger.
Hold up Jeff Bezos and other people.
Yeah.
Like demigods,
I don't.
Right?
I don't. Fuck that. And I'm a right winger.
But they do.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, he worked hard and got his.
To a certain extent, he just like you. What if your fucking business became a $1 billion business one day?
Well, it means
you know what I mean.
I mean, but more
you would be
board games. That'd be great. But it meant that I was exploiting the labor of communist talk. I was exploiting the labor of the people below me, right, and not paying them well enough. If I got super rich, right, but also like nobody gets to these levels in any kind of thing without being kind of a dick, right? Like you have to be,
or having an exemplary idea that just excels beyond any human expectation.
You have to step on some skulls too.
I mean, is Elon Musk a fucking, you know what I mean? Is he a bad billionaire?
I mean, I don't know.
You know what I mean, though? Like
kind of a weird douche, but
I mean, he's weird. He's a little weird, but he's a nerd. He's a tech nerd. I mean, they're gonna be weird. But you see what I'm saying? Like, they're not all, you know. Like, I generally think that like Elon Musk and his companies, like I really do think like they're working towards something different. But I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I think you're right. Like to a certain extent, like the right definitely does hold government more accountable than the corporations, and I think that's kind of where the far left and far right could come together.
They lionize the corporations too hard is the problem, and they just like, oh man, these guys are. But I mean, they're, as far as I can tell, they're the problem. Yeah, but you're right. It's hand in glove, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no one, both government and
they're propping each other up. I think is. I mean, the politicians get favors done by getting them paid for by lobbyists. So I mean, to a certain extent, you are right, and I mean, you know, maybe that's both sides' fault, because I think that's something that the left upholds. Like, well, I guess we'll just use Antifa. Like, they're holding businesses, you know, large corporations accountable.
Like they don't. Okay.
Thanks, all right, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys there.
No, you're good. You're good.
Have fun.
Do I need?
No,
are you?
I just want to see where he stood. I kind of came in late.
No, we're just live, 100%.
Yeah.
That was just live.
It was just live.
Yeah.
All of us are live. Yeah. None of this.
Yeah, we're all live.
100% live on camera.
True media.
Yeah.
We don't cut it up.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. What? Where do I need to go look? Oh no, but does it stay like? Do you
it's all it stays out there. Yeah. You can go to the BCP, Black Conservative Preacher.
Black Conservative Preacher.
I'm CJTV Media.
I'll go back tonight and see how stupid I sounded later.
You don't sound stupid. You had good arguments. Hey, and dude, on a real note, I appreciate someone with like a logical standpoint that is actually involved in their community. Like, you own a business and you came and talked to us. Most of the people that come and talk to us,
just came down to like,
dude, I'm telling you,
it happened because I was being a smartass. I just came to.
Well, it don't matter. It doesn't matter.
And then dudes behind me were fucking like loaded up.
Yeah.
And
well, the fact that you came and talked to us, most of the people that come and talk to us are punk ass kids. You know what I mean?
What does it say? Black Conservative Preacher?
Yeah, CJTV, and then you can.
I'm behind enemy lines.
All right, I'll
look at it. I'll let you be. We probably hassled you enough, dude.
No, it was cool. It was
Thank you. Appreciate it, dude. Thank you for talking to us.
All right.
What up, dude? How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the streams lately.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I work with Tim here.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah, I got him
right on.
watch your shit. He watched us
Hell yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
The best, right? The best, baby.
I caught that one that was crazy just recently when you guys got running.
Yep.
That was nuts.
Let's go see what we're doing over here.
The streamer they zeroed in then.
Oh, mal content? Yeah.
So they were over there.
Let's go see what he has to say.
August. Never in my life did I think I would have to be begging or fighting for school. They lost an entire year.
Hey, whoa, white supremacist with the gun, okay? I'm gonna need you to chill out, alright? Too much.
Alright, so this fella that you posted up saying the usual suspects, what do you mean by that?
I know he is.
Okay, bringing out the usual suspects. What's the usual suspect?
He shows up the keys of that. That's all.
Push like you are? I don't show up. We're asking questions. We're being polite. The reason why is because a lot of people use your stuff to dox people that aren't doing anything anyway. Just like us, we're just asking questions.
Right, and I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Right.
But people use your stuff.
Did we not just have a good conversation? We give you an elbow?
No, I heard. I was just saying.
You're not a communist, are you?
Hopefully.
No, I would not identify myself as a communist.
All right. Then good. Then, all right.
I just want to make sure that you're aware that people do use your footage to try to dox people, and I've already had to tell 3 other people today that have been on your footage to be like, hey, people are being doxed, and they do use yours, so I just want to make sure that you don't advocate for doxing or violence.
I don't advocate.
This is malcontent.
Okay. I appreciate it. I just want to make sure because
I was doxed, very high profile doxed, so I don't advocate it, and I have actually, if you're looking, you'll flip through, you'll see where I've gone and said, left or right, doxing's wrong. When Katie Davis court got pepper sprayed back at the Back to Blue thing in October, if you follow me, you know I said no, wrong, because Katie didn't do anything. Broad daylight, she's just standing there, right? And my view on that is Katie's there doing her First Amendment thing. I may not agree with one thing that Katie says, but Katie has a fundamental right, to be First Amendment, right? Which includes the right to a free press.
Like some of my friends, I'll hang out with them. They know that I support abortion up to a certain point. They don't support abortion at all in some cases.
Right.
But
that's another left thing. I support abortion. I don't support late term abortion unless it is because like the mother's going to die.
Abortion's abortion. Abortion's abortion,
I
but
don't support any of it. I find it degenerate.
So pretty much. I just want to make sure because you're one of the ones that I found through here. I want to address it because there's a lot of people that just want to live their life. They don't have any hate. There's people that are in the teacher community, all sexes, races, everything. They just want to live their lives and be able to not have their freedoms taken away. And unfortunately, there are people that use your information, and they're like, hey, you can use it friendly for them. So that's where I have a disagreement.
All right, that's fair. So, I mean, here, this is the thing I'll say. If you can listen to the speakers here, there's a lot, particularly Michelle said, that I think both sides left and right would agree with. And I'll close with this. You may have heard me say this before, and I'll say this to all of you, especially you. I think they use them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell and I'm live, my followers have heard me say this. They use wedge issues like abortion, like guns, like single-payer health care to keep us divided.
Yep.
If we sat down...
And race.
And I will disagree with that. If we sat down and had beer, and we talked about the symptoms of the disease, we would probably agree with an 80%, including you and me. If we sat down and then we tried to define the disease, so in other words, here are the symptoms, we think the disease is this, we'd probably get to 60 to 70%.
Yeah, pretty close.
Where it all falls apart, how do you cure the disease? But if we kept having a civil conversation, we'd probably get to 50%, and then the 50% that's left over, we would probably go, you know what, 30% of it is those guys playing that 30% to keep us pissed off.
Yeah.
And then it's the 20%. And I get it. Some of that stuff in the 20%, you and I are never going to agree. Ever. Totally get it. But some of that 20%.
I chalk it up to skulls to kind of like, remember the Gladiatorium with Roman? Terra? The people would rise up unless they had bloodshed to see. Yeah. That's what the media and the career politicians do. So that's where at least you and I can see on that, so I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having a civil conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Churchill. All right. We good?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool, I appreciate it.
So you know it's not bullshit if you go to the very beginning of the stream. I said I was leaving at 3 o'clock no matter what. And heading down to PDX.
Oh, tonight's going to be fun. You got some plans tonight?
They're doing actually it's free on the tail.
Yeah,
you're starting. No. You know what? I think they had their fun last night.
No, I don't know. It's like it's been a couple nights in a row they've been having fun.
We'll see what Kettle, 13 people arrested. We'll see what happens.
I think they got a lot of information.
Yeah, how many were charged is the real, that's That's the real issue.
All right, guys.
Yeah, they better have their fun while they're still can.
Good?
People are getting sick and tired of it.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Hey, just to be safe out there, because I know that there is some stuff that might happen tonight. I know the police in Portland are getting kind of crazy, and they are trying to split off the press from the rest of them. So it is, yeah. So just make sure you take care of yourself.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Startup. Blossom does create many millions of new jobs, along with massive wealth and prosperity for our nation. Churchill, chairman of the third party, Lincoln Party.
No, I've heard that dude's. No, I've heard that dude's speech at the homeless events that he goes and films, and that dude, that was a show. That's what that was. That was a show. That's what that was. I've seen that dude speak completely different. Just saying. The whole unity speeches, man, are getting fucking old. You can't preach unity one day and then the next day go out and fucking, you know, call patriots this and call them that, and, you know, we're bad people because, you know, we don't like homeless people, and we're the whole reason that, you know, Seattle has a homeless problem. I mean, I've heard it all from this guy. Malcontent tango. Nothing's changed there.
Thank you.
Tell him, Churchill.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. As you noticed, we couldn't go anywhere without bagpipes, giving a steer into our heart and putting some steel into our spine, some courage that we all deserve. As you're also courageous to be out here with me, and recall that there are better days ahead.
This dude's
I
good.
know
I like
we
him.
have suffered. I know we have been beaten. I know we have been kept down. However, there are better days ahead. And I'm here to give the good news, the news that need to cheer your heart, and to recall that as citizens, we are not subject to any other authority except our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our Declaration of Independence. So, without further ado, I will simply speak on a short speech out of my prepared remarks. Don't be scared. I shall not follow the letter. I shall just go through and help you to understand that we are here together, and the facts with which I shall deal this afternoon are mainly old and familiar. Yet there is something new and innovative in the general use of the facts. And this is what joins us together, because although there is novelty to the idea that none of us is any longer considered a slave or a subject to a king, to any tyrannical authority or any other institution, as citizens we ought to recall that we are subjects to the Declaration of Independence. I make a clear distinction between the Declaration and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, because whereas the one is not a legal document, and I speak of the Declaration of Independence, it is actually the most important document that allowed us to become who we are.
That's right.
Citizens as opposed to subjects. It's a monumental difference. I am proud to call myself the American Churchill, only why I am a citizen and not subject to any queen, or worse. So, as I see all of you understanding the important difference, we ought together to invest in a further understanding for the reason why we live here, and if need be, we die here to defend those ancient rights. And those rights are to enjoy liberty and the pursuit of happiness. As I hear you, you have asked me many times before to represent you, and I heed your call. Yet, every time when we are together, we have been attacked and viciously maligned by our enemies of freedom. So shall we come together again this time and rise up, as we need to protect each other, to protect our rights, and to defend the Republic for which many others before us have shed their blood. The reason for me standing in front of you is to wake up this ancient feeling, the feeling that made people seek liberty at the cost of death. As you know, famous people before us, they went to battle with a flag that said, "Give me liberty or give me death," and they meant it. We do not need to make such important sacrifice today. The only thing is enough to cast your vote, and cast your vote for a person that you think will represent this ancient principle, nothing less. And how do you distinguish between the people who are worthy of your vote or not? Is by simple conversation, in a civilized discourse, with loving kindness that will allow you to recognize those who want to keep us united versus ones who want to divide you so they can rule above you. It has been said by great ancient peoples that those who do not expose themselves to the electioneering, to the democratic elections, and to the vagaries of public office, they are led by people far inferior to themselves. So should we not be led by inferior people who have no track, no belief, and certainly no hesitation to take away your liberties, you ought to expose yourselves to the politics by involving yourselves in the school board, in any other elected position that will elevate you to the point of a leader within our communities. And this is why I was called here to speak, because I am unafraid to include myself in the voting rolls and to stand up and accept your vote at times when you ask me to represent you. It just so happens that in my family, in my blood, in my DNA, we have a little bit of that political thing running. You might have heard. It's some kind of a virus that cannot be defeated by inoculation against it. We are called to serve, and service is what we give. But they only call us to come, you know, when the things are difficult, and oftentimes when things are unsufferable. And then they say, okay, let's draft a Churchill now to see if he can take the chestnuts out of the fire, because the fire is too hot. Then we take it, you know, often foolishly, often with candor, and sometimes even with the necessity speaking upon us that if we don't do it, nobody else wants that awful job. And it is a bitter pill sometimes. You probably know, my grandfather, they tried to assassinate him 61 times. Not all of them from effing Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. There were some local crazy yahoos from England, they tried to kill him too. We have to be aware that there is a cost to public service, especially when you do something good, and you earn the enmity of those powerful people and the sinister folks who seek to dominate you and to deprive you of your basic liberties. Now, thank God we are not facing, you know, the hordes of Adolf Hitler wanting to drive us into 1,000 years of misery, darkness, and depression. But I think we were driven just, if I recall, until today into a depression lasting 365 days, and maybe a bit more, a bit less. And I think now we are coming out of it and shaking our head and saying, what was that all about? Because, as you all know, it seems that we've been punked. I think my good Scottish friends here, they will tell you you've been punked. And it's time to wake up. That's why, you know, with the benefit of the bagpipes that are so giving a heart to all of us, we can say that no more. We've woken up. Springtime is upon us. And let this be not the Ides of March where awful things happen, but let it be the springtime, you know, into which you all rise up. I hear this is a common expression here, rise up, like the old folks. They've risen, and they had a revolution by declaring their independence from Mother England. And all good things came to all of us. but we should not forget the tradition. And what England had given us, it was the basic natural rights as understood in the philosophy of yore. Whether it was John Locke or whether it was any other person who actually spoke within the ancient Parliament of London, the Westminster, the Hall of the Commons, that's been the most vibrant democracy for the last 1,000 years. And yet, a democracy that is still curtailed by the power of a sovereign king or queen. And on this side of the water, on this side of the pond, we decided to be free of that and unfettered and become the kind of people that are led by a government of the people, by the people, and from the people.
That's right.
A government that shall not perish from this earth as long as you can keep it. And why would you not want to keep such a government here, alive and blossoming, since it's the best system of self-governance the world has ever known? And look at what beautiful people it has produced. Just look around you and say thank you to the person standing next to you, because I extend my thanks. And I say, thank you, Papa, maybe a hug if you're not afraid, and tell them that solidly standing together is all we expect from each other. Nothing more is required. Just stand with me as I stand with you, and together we are going to carry this sunny day into the future, because without that, we've got nothing. That's right. The separation that has been dictated upon us, the division, the hate against each other, the looming civil war that's being advertised in all means and all places where the easily susceptible fall prey to, is exactly the evil that we need to observe against.
That's right.
Some great people, they said, you know, I know not who causes tears to my country, but I know how to repair the fabric of my nation. And I think I'm one of those old school folks who aren't afraid to say, I know how to repair the fabric of our nation, torn as it may be. This is what we all ought to do, this is what we need to engage in doing, and more or less this is what we are required of doing now and forever. You see, my words go to the wind. So, as I am speaking to you, impromptu, no notes taken away, I have to say that I am proud to be amongst you. I am proud to be one of you, and above all else, I'm the American Churchill, and that means a lot. My grandfather, all his life, he was a subject to a king and queen. In his long life in Parliament, more than 50 years, he was a great force. He delivered liberty for the whole Western world. I think the fact that we do not speak German today in this very country is due to my grandfather's, Winston Churchill's, courage. Courage, and courage alone was what helped him achieve this liberty. When everything was lost, when everything seemed improbably dark, and in the midst of the most difficult time the free nations of the world have faced, he stood up as one man alone for the first 2 years of the war, and then, enjoying the friendship of the government of these United States, FDR and the people, and enjoying the friendship also of Stalin, Marshal Stalin on the other side, and enjoying the friendship of all the free nations who had signed up as allies, the ANZAC forces, Australia, New Zealand, the Commonwealth of India and other 68 nations. We should not forget that none of us is alone in this great struggle against darkness. We always have allies that we might not be able to identify, but we are able to rely upon. I admit I don't know half your names. The people I have met, there are few and varied in between in this vast crowd. But I do know that the ones whom I do not know, they respect me as I respect them. And they are going to reach out to me as I reach out to you today and say, E pluribus unum.
That's right.
This is my only shield of protection.
Let's go.
I'm not wearing a bulletproof vest, although I have been assassinated twice. Well, small beginnings until I get to 61 times like my grandfather. I've got ways to go. But I'm here because I feel your protection is far greater than mine. Anything you have to offer me is accepted. So I thrive being amongst you. And I know that victory will grace all of our efforts and all of our endeavors, because this enterprise of mine is not new. This enterprise of mine has started a long time ago, back in the 1700s, when people rose up and they said, I declare my independence. And that was the most powerful thing that the world had ever heard. Right. Because there is nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come. And declaring our independence today from fear is what we ought to do. Should we be asked upon the world? Should we ask to be of service? And should we be asked to serve? I believe our time has come. No more division, kindness, love, and the enthusiasm of unity is what will allow us to succeed and keep our republic, as many generations before us they have. Because people ask me, how come you expect this country that has fallen so low to be resurrected again and thrive? I say, well, give me a moment to think. It sounds like a very difficult question now, huh? Listen to me. If I have been able to resurrect myself from the last assassination attempt against me that left me broken in the head requiring brain surgery because I dared to give a speech like this inside the Microsoft headquarters in Haiti just a month after the 45th president was elected, a person who supported with 7.5 million votes of independence, because you had seen the corruption. We've seen what they did to our friend Bernie Sanders, who had won the primaries of the Democratic Party, and then they just kicked him off to the curb.
Yep,
shame.
That's what they do.
So we took out the other guy, you know, and he seemed to be at least honorable to do the one thing we agreed upon. No more foreign wars. We have enough things to do in our country to fix it up.
That's right.
We don't want to take our people, you know, in the freaking deserts, you know.
That's right.
Against Afghanistan or Syria, Iraq, where the people have been killing each other for millennia without rancor, without principle, and ultimately without any particular cause.
Yeah,
they're just loco in the head, you know, they can stand each other. And let's learn from that, because that's what they're trying to do to us. To get us into a division that you cannot stand each other. You can't be in the same elevator, you know, with another person, let alone if the person is from the other party. And both parties are complicit in this evil work. Both of them. It's not one. It's both of them. It takes two to tango. They are the same faces of the same coin on either side. Because that's how they can control the true citizens. And deprive you of the rights that you have been feasted upon through the natural rights, through the godly free will, and certainly through the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution. I know I'm not telling you anything new that you don't know, especially with my funny accent. You know, you probably want me to speak in French to you. And I use French, you know, but only for romantic purposes and for diplomacy across the world, but not here. I can do a pretty mean Texas accent if you want me to, just like John Wayne, you know. Put them up, Dukes, you know, and let's go fight. Fight is what we need to do, but not in the sense of John Wayne in the movies. We don't want to have a bar brawl, but we're going to have a very educated, scientific effort at winning elections across the board. It does not matter the size of the office you seek, but it matters that you earn the right of citizen, which is ultimately to be responsible for the affairs of our country. And I want to be responsible to you, first of all, because you are fellow citizens, but most importantly, to the old creed, e pluribus unum. Out of many, we become one. And why did the founders, you know, these 39 men who signed on the Declaration of Independence, you know, unafraid of hanging? Because at that time, you know, anybody who signed that document was an enemy to the prevailing power. And yet they did. And they went on to fight. And before long, they had earned their independence. This is again what I'm fighting for, because I happen to believe, unusual as it might seem to most of you, that the revolution has not stopped. The revolution has not died. The revolution is ongoing. And it is you, and me, and several other people well beyond the pale of this particular moment, that they are unafraid to say, we must carry on the struggle. We cannot allow darkness to come over us for long. And the struggle that I'm engaged in is the political struggle of democracy, hoping to be amongst those who truly believe government by the people, government for the people, and government from the people shall never perish from this earth, at least if we can help it. So this is what I demand of you as well. Stand with me as I stand with you, because this particular old axiom of having the best form of governance in the world, which is democracy, at the self-governing level, it is exactly what we seek to have if we are to survive as a nation. Because at the end of the day, regardless of divisions, regardless of these desperate attempts to cause us to harm each other, I do not believe for a moment that we are going to descend into a bloody civil war another time, having had the example of the last one, having remembered the bloodshed, the loss and the destruction that caused. And these are the people from the outside who cause the tears in the fabric of our country. And I aim to repair that. With your help. You be the hands, that hold the needle and the fabric and you sew it together. And that's what we need to do. Almost like needlepoint. That's all it takes. And it's easy enough that all of us can do it without very much effort. And what, you ask me, what do you speak of nation? You kind of look and sound almost foreign. Some people ask me, where have you been born? I have to tell them near the University of Western, my alma mater, and they say, I don't believe. I say, okay, try me. Ha ha ha. Does any of you, think that this nation is made up of what? Of imported plastic tchotchkes at Walmart? What is this nation made of? Of houses and buildings and this nice grass? No. What is the nation? What is the idea of a nation? The very definition of a nation, in my mind, is this continuation of principle of our existence with the things that we hold sacred, from the people who are long gone to the people that are yet to be born. Your children, my children, and their children. This is what this nation is all about. This unbroken line of principled individuals willing to lay it all on the line for what we believe to be true, the Declaration of Independence. How could I be anything else but an independent? I've been courted by those both political parties whom I consider evildoers many, many times. Come with us. Come with us. Whether it's the left or the right, the red or the blue or whatever other color, because they always want to control this, telling you that you could never be elected unless you fly under their own flag. And this is the basis of corruption and division. But I have friends here who always will tell you that should you choose to be an independent, you will win, because last I heard, maybe just as late as yesterday, 75%, 3/4 of all the people here, they are so tired and they want to be independent forever. Because this document that I referenced, the Declaration of Independence, it was actually the founding document of our country. The Constitution came later in order to legalize the framework of what you consider the government. However, it was the Declaration of Independence that allowed people to rise up. And I connect the two. There would be no rise up, there would be no revolution without the Declaration of Independence. Signed up by 39 people who were unafraid to give up their lives for the very cause of independence. So, how could they be anything else but an independent? In our politics, in our belief, in our government structures, and most important, in our lives. Benjamin Franklin famously said that who wants political parties when I can live in the paradise of independence? Washington, Jefferson, Adams, Madison, they all decried the rise of partisanship as to be the death knell of the Republic.
That's
you
right.
remember that? And does anybody remember Abraham Lincoln saying clearly do not allow partisanship to destroy us. And he created a cabinet of rivals, people who came from different political parties, because he himself was an independent at the time. It was a new party he founded between the Whigs and the Southern Democrats. And by the grace of God, they split the main parties and they succeeded in gaining the leadership and preserving our country through the difficult times of the Civil War. So I call upon you to do exactly what old Abe, my intellectual mentor, if you will, and call to your others, those others who are not in the same stripe uniform as you might be, and invite them to a civilized discourse, to a dialogue, and giving them loving kindness, allow both of you to become independent. Because independence is a state of mind, more than anything else. To be independent of fear is what I hope and I ask of all of you today. And once you take that baptism of fire, you will be a true independent for the rest of your life and for the rest of the generations to come, as this nation was founded upon. Amen. I call on you for independence of spirit, independence of your heart, and the independence of your belief, to rise up with me and with each other, and to say thank you and God bless you all, and keep in mind that together we can have a great country, and we can do well together in this country. However, if separated, if divided, if conquered, we will die as slaves, and that I shall not allow. God bless you all. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Churchill, and a lot of you want to convince me to run for the United States Senate on behalf of our party.
Yeah. Yep.
Would you want me to?
Yes. 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 Yes, please.
You want me to run, represent you as an independent? Will you stand with me?
Yes, sir.
We go together. Go together, Washington, to just be there as independent witnesses and to effect change. Will you stand with me? Will you come with me? I promise you, all together we can fit in a big bus and we'll get there.
Yes.
Well, I hear you, and I say God bless you. I shall follow your advice, and I will have the piper, lead us on a goodbye and a solemn prayer. Thank you. God bless. Thank you.
Okay, one more round of applause for Dr. Churchill, please. So we are riseupwa.org, and we
How did I find
championed
I did a mega drag
causes,
like a week ago.
not
he was
personalities,
there. Mega drag. Yeah.
not organizations,
yes, from Tacoma
other
to Seattle
entities,
and
not
back.
special interests. You, me,
Oh yeah.
that's our interest.
Thank you for that $5
With that
super
said,
chat.
I'm going to give it
Appreciate
to Michelle Darnell again to close up.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. So did you all have a good time today? Do you feel inspired? Oh, that wasn't loud enough. That was pretty darn weak. Do you feel
From you, Ryan.
inspired? Are you going to rise up? Rise up!
Appreciate you, buddy.
Rise up! Rise up! Okay, so that's what we're all about here today. I hope these the speakers today, our lineup, has inspired you to go home to your community and find out what you can do in your community. That might be volunteering. It might be volunteering for a candidate running for office in 2021. And let me tell you, a lot of times voters and the general public doesn't pay much attention to campaigns until every 4 years. We have a presidential election. I happen to believe that 80% of your attention, your political time, your political resources, your political attention, 80% should be focused on your local community and your state. 20%, you can go ahead and have your cake and ice cream and cotton candy. That's the federal stuff. We have got to build a bench here in Washington State at the local level if we ever hope to change things in D.C. So that starts in 2021. As I mentioned before, King County has 314 open seats, everything from, park board all the way up to city council, school board, so on and so forth. Our organization, Ignite Foundation, LLC, we provide we recruit, I'm tired. We recruit, we train, we provide resources, and we equip candidates. Rise Up Washington is for our activists. We recruit, train, and provide support services for our activists. Marlisa, did I lose you? I wanted to make mention of some of the stuff that we offer. You can go to our website, ignitefoundationllc.com or riseupwa.org. And what can we find on the website?
For anybody who's interested in running for office or interested in politics and the dates of things when initiatives come out and all that, we've designed a really awesome calendar here that's got all the political dates for everything. Special elections, filing dates, initiative dates, when they have to be in, primaries, special elections, all that stuff for anything and all of it in the state. And
What does it have on top?
Inspirational quotes at the top, and it's an invaluable tool. I ran for office last year in 2020 for state legislature. I didn't win, but a tool like this would have been amazing because we didn't know. When did the military ballots drop? You need to know those kinds of things, and they don't give you that information. So, $16 for a beautiful calendar. That's an amazing tool, and I hope that a number of you, we got some people on contact list today. We'll be reaching out and encouraging anybody who feels that they've got the gumption to do so. Run for office, run for school board, run for a sewer district, run for water district. All those positions are really important. So, we also have to raise funds and get the word out about Rise and Ignite. We have some awesome t-shirts, $22 a piece, that helps to support the organizations, and which will in turn help to support candidates. We have inspirational quotes on them, and I think they're pretty awesome. Can you read that one, Michelle?
freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. Ronald Reagan. Another reason we offer shirts, calendars, that sort of thing is because we need to change the conversation in this country right now. We need to change it from the partisan rhetoric to actual, quotes of inspiration, solutions-oriented conversation. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to change the conversation and take it in a different direction. Anything else, Marlisa?
I think you ended talking about that.
Well, I think I already mentioned that. And just to summarize, we provide campaign support services. You can go to our website to find out. I have run personally myself as a third-party candidate twice. I will tell you, running a campaign, not to scare you all off because I want you to run, is like launching a startup with no venture capital and running it into IPO or bankruptcy in less than a year. So that's why we are building what we're building. We want to give tools. We call it Candidate in a Box. Everything you need to launch your campaign rapidly if you happen to be what I call a lunchbox candidate, which is most of us. So with that, I'm going to close things down here. Thank you again for coming out today. Follow us on our website, on our social media, and remember to go home and rise up.
Thank you. Congrats.
What's that?
Congratulations. Thank you.
I want to get a picture of us.
Yes, all of us. We go against the flag.
Yes.
Everybody come together. Everybody please come together. We have a big picture. One photograph. Come on. All together by the flag. Everybody. Come inside.
10 people walk up. I see you made a friend over there today at the first rally.
All together. Come on, everybody. Big picture. Everybody. Come in.
I guess I shouldn't stand up front, huh? That's all, guys.
Please, come on.
You keep going.
Oh, no, you're fine. Come on, everybody. Put the flag to their side so we can have a good photo.
Hey,
come in, come in. Come in.
where are you? Are you standing right there?
Photo bomb. Yes, photo bomb. Come on, we want the cowboy right here, sir. I love that.
You're blocking her.
Come in, everybody together.
Oh,
my bad. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Courage, courage, peace, love, kindness, and unity. Unity. Show love to each other. Peace.
Thank you.
God bless. Whoa. Yes. This is community. This is how we do it. Blessings to all. Go home and love each other. That's the message. Not God. Not God, Father. Is your daddy? Yeah. Bless you, Father. I hear you made a good son. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dad. Somebody. Every day. Yeah, God, don't forget. Together. Come on, brother. Let me put his stuff.
Let's go, BCP. Let's go.
Hey, are these things on?
Yeah.
So I got a little story. So, dude, me and another dude we went to the burial coffee ground, coffee place over here, and I ordered a copy from him and me. And I got my copy. I looked at it. He wrote ACAB on it. All cops are bastards. He wrote on it. So I went back in there. I said, "What the fuck is this motherfucker?" or whatever. So he had like 7 people in there, and I said, "You writing this shit because I have all this shit on." He said, "Oh, all cops are bastards." So he wrote it on. I said, "I should take it." I'm shocked. I won't have it.
Shit, I should go in there.
I made a big scene. The dude, he was like, "Man, I could hear you from outside."
I should go over there and give him a little interview. Sounds like they need some attention.
So, yeah, probably goes. Well, I would have told you that. That's an Antifa cop.
Jesus.
So, dude, I didn't see till I took 2 drinks and I saw it.
Yeah, who knows what else was in
Back
it?
in there, what the fuck's in here?
Yeah, who knows what else was in it? They like to poison drinks, especially alcoholic bars.
Dude, we went over this little cafe right here, and the owner says, no open carry, long gun. He had his, I get it, but then he says, no long guns at all. I was like, what's the problem? He goes, well, I open carry too. I said, so what's the problem? Well, I look like a fucking criminal. All right. So he walks. I'm not giving my fucking money. Yes, come.
What a joke. That's crazy.
This place is bad, but actually it's worse than
It's a liberal paradise. It's Simpville is what I call it.
Victory for the people. That's all we're here for.
When we say something about
well, what's sketchy? You got a fucking vest on? Like, people are so
She
stupid.
called him sketchy because he was walking around with this.
Alive.
And then we were saying something, and they walked away, and the only thing they do is go like this, and they just go like this with their tail between their legs.
Hope. That's what we are all about.
So I
am the merchant of hope. That's the only thing I'm selling. A very expensive commodity, but the kind of commodity that we all need now. So come and get some hope. Expect greatness, nothing less. God bless you.
Thank you. Jason, right?
Okay, we done it.
I got an antique. No, we don't remember the I know that's the heavy service. Oh, and they have
thousands of speeches. And I didn't give away all of my notes. Give me a hug, brother. If you can edit it and package it and send it to me, I'll be honored to I'll send you something, and I can give you my email.
You have my email on there?
Can I
grab one of your cards?
I will do. She is the organization who invited me. Well, the ladies get presidents always in my life. Your man, what's your name? Robert. Peter. Very good. What a CLC stand. I thank you so much. So this makes me feel giddy, happy. We've got this beautiful day with beautiful people. It's hope in our republic. It's great hope. We have hope, don't we? Never again depression. Now you know the future is great. For you, we are building this future. It's not for me. You are the future, and we're just making it better for you. So never again depression. Suicide is not in the agenda. It's not on the menu. You have every problem.
Any event you guys have,
I'm sure I'm going to give you up. I am the merchant of hope. I kid you not. So when you ever feel in the darkness, just call on me. Is there a deal? Not look. Stay. God bless you, child.
I'm trying to move this damn flag out of here.
How? Like this? God bless you.
Well, just because she was blown in her face, so I was trying to.
Just put that out there. Anybody who wants hope, they can come to me. I have plenty. Cheers.
Hey, Ashley.
We've moved that thing up.
I'm sure. The wind's crazy today. Feels good though with the sun, the wind, nature today.
You almost caught a hot one on that one.
And so you had were you live streaming?
Yeah. I'm a live streamer. Behind Enemy Lines is.
Enemy Lines. Okay, I've seen that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad you made it out to our event.
Yeah, I enjoy all these. I think it's really awesome. I like seeing the people come out.
Yeah. Well, our main thing was I hope it was unifying to overall the message gets out. That it's unifying. That it was a unifying thing because even the ones that we disagree with who are throwing a temper tantrum about it. They've been damaged too,
Yeah.
And so
I think the problem is their hindsight, their 2020 hindsight is we're bad, okay? And there was two conversations today. There was one that was over here to the right. Middle-aged gentleman, he owned a business. He's clearly a liberal, like leftist leaning.
Right.
And it seemed like, I kind of watched their conversation from over here, from afar. And it seemed like at first it was kind of, feisty and heisty. And then when I went over there, it was really calm. It seemed like, like everybody kind of came to like an agreement.
Yeah.
And that's very rare. You know what I mean? Like that's rare now. You can't come to agreement with anyone on either side. So that was cool to see that. And then You know, I mean.
Buddy, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy.
Did you see I linked you on my page?
Yeah, I did. So you're
All Patriots
All Patriots Network. Okay. Yep. Okay.
So,
Dave, thank you so much.
I wouldn't mind the link back. That'd be cool.
Yep, I got you.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you.
I really appreciate all your work there.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks for.
I didn't even know you were. I didn't know you were on Twitter. I thought you were YouTube only.
Yeah, I haven't been saying much anymore.
Because they
already destroyed my business in December. So. So
that's not what I like to hear.
I'm more careful now, which I hate to be that. I was never like that before.
Right.
Careful means quiet, which sucks.
Yeah, subversive.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, one of the things.
Still got the torpedo.
One of the things that we're gonna, that you guys are gonna want to look out for, is that I'm working with Jane to write her book because it tells you the beginning of where that censorship started. That technology and communication, the control of communication,
the fact checking.
Holy moly! I mean, just the.
You wonder. You almost wonder.
And they'll surely gaslight it and say it's some conspiracy theory stuff because that's what they want to do. But all publicity is good.
Yeah.
People are going to want to read it.
My haters are my biggest fans.
Yep, exactly. It's going to be epic. And Jane grew up.
We'll do an interview. Okay.
Hey,
I want to as soon as you can. God bless you both. Thank you for
coming out today.
Thing.
Where are you? Which district or which seat are you running for?
34th, but I'm running for the United States Senate, which is the whole state.
Okay. What do you mind what I ask you what you're running as?
As independent.
Okay. Cool.
That's the things I spoke about. Declaration of Independence is my document. That's my manifesto. I have no political party affiliation.
Now, did your grandfather consider himself an independent?
He was an independent. Now you see, he moved from one party to another all the time because he only believed in the ideas that we hold sacred, not in the political party dogma. So he was an independent.
Are you going to try and stick to kind of his way of
policy of going from one party to another? Not now.
I don't
believe so. Things are difficult now because the parties can prove to be corrupt.
Right.
The political parties.
Both parties.
Yes. Very corrupt. And they engage in evil. And in the background, they have their own cooperation and they agree together in the smoky room what they're going to decide for us.
Then another thing out in public. Yeah.
It's not democracy.
Yeah.
We have to decide, not the political bosses. So they've taken it to be the bosses that are unelected. Where does that come from?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
The habit of corruption does not speak of democracy. We have to change that. And you can only do it as independents. Because the moment you allow them to sit on top of your head and dictate how you're going to vote,
control.
If you're in the House of Representatives, that's no freedom and that's no democracy. So yes, independent, like the Declaration of Independence, nothing less.
Well, I just want to say I really appreciate your message of unity and peace and kindness, especially in the climate right now. It's really needed. It's really heartfelt. So
it's hard for everybody, brother.
Yeah.
Can I say how hard it is?
I love you, man. Thank you.
I love you too.
You're what we need.
And I want you to remember, if you go and call on me. I've got some extra deposits I share. And it's not free. I pay for giving it, but it's free to you. Okay? And that's what we most need now. We need hope and courage.
What's the easiest way for you to communicate with the general public?
This is it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That's the only way that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too.
That's what makes the people react. Like Inslee and shit, he won't even step out.
Yeah. I am very certain you.
I was surprised I saw him out here when the fence was up. Well, it's still up, but when they had National Guard out front, I was surprised he walked out front.
A bet that for the remainder of your life you shall not forget my words nor myself.
Oh, I won't.
My baby face will be imprinted in your memory forever.
Well, I remember when I saw you at the Mega Drag, and I've seen you before that too, and I was like, holy cow, he's really gonna run. That's crazy. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
I shall, and with your help we will win.
Let's do it. I'll spread the good word.
And it's not a very difficult fight. I'm fighting against an old sneaker, an old tennis shoe. That's stinky. An old, did I say old tennis suit? I'm running against a sneaker. I think I can do that. So
I think you can too. Exactly.
I do a lot of the campaign managing for Colton and stuff. So
Will you be able to support me?
Absolutely.
Can I give you my
100%.
telephone number so you can sign up with me? Let's do it. I need your help.
Yeah, I want it too.
You two, together.
Hold on. Text or call?
Well, call and telephone and text. That's what I want you to. Voice is the killer app.
Okay.
You know that. We get together, we build a campaign. 650.
650.
360 first?
No,
Okay,
650 is the area code because I was in San Francisco, when I was recuperating for my last assassination attempt. They broke my head here in Seattle.
Well, it's not a very good place to recuperate.
Well, but they didn't know I was there. I was just trying to recover. I had brain surgery. It took me about 4 years now to recover. So I had to be away from here because here I have a big target. You see what's happening around us. So we had to get special police and special people to protect us. But I'm not afraid. If I had to give my life for this country, I don't mind whatsoever.
Well, you won't have to. You won't have to with people backing you and standing behind you.
If these people stand with me, yes, I don't
No
have
more
to.
of that.
But
No
I'm
more of
willing
that.
to, and that proves the point. So 650-636-3939.
I'm calling you.
Yeah, call me, but then save it also, Dr. Churchill, and then text me of your availability so we can get together and talk about campaign. I need you.
Do you know that just got my son a puppy, and I was like, what you gonna name him?
Winston.
He said Winston, just like Winston Churchill.
Everybody who loves freedom, they call their puppy Winston. Yes, of course. Let's take a picture. Come on. So I want you to call it. Campaign staff we need. Hello.
You're going to be recruiting campaign staff.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Can you? Oh, that's looking at you. You'll have to look at me.
Come in. Our new campaign manager right here.
I didn't film them hitting the camera, but they were all like...
Yeah.
Okay, we put them lights. Let's go on the other side.
Do you want it sideways or?
We got that.
Do you want sideways or?
Because the sun.
One more, Michelle. Stay.
Going break.
Miss Manager, this way.
I gave you good pictures, but
There you are. Hello.
it's just dark. You're like,
Cheers. Now we can go the other side.
Okay, I took like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
So
no,
hopefully.
you're good. We'll go on this side so you can take one. Come on, brother. Come together. Come on, Michelle.
we did whole
Pictures on pictures. No, come on,
Michelle. Come on, ladies. Come here. Get in on this. Hi.
Am I right here?
You're good. Hi.
No. Will you grab the sign? She's got the sign.
Oh yeah. Got the sign.
Sorry.
Come. You can be in front of us. Come on. You're the youngest one. Feel free. Hi.
There we go. Much better, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, the lighting.
Cheers. Proper lighting. We're following the sun.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Don't forget, we got to
Appreciate
work
it.
together.
Yeah, you
all the best.
bet you.
Take
Bet
care.
you.
Cheers. Good to meet you too. How are you?
What do you think? You guys done?
We're done. I'm out. I was just talking to Communist Conservative. You have anything to say here? I heard people that were screaming for you yesterday. They caught me, so I might as well expose it. I was downtown last night. I heard a bunch of people screaming for you, and you weren't even down there.
They were screaming for Josh too.
Were they?
Yeah.
You weren't even there, and they were sitting there.
They're all about it. They're thirsty.
They love you.
They're hungry.
They're
hungry.
They do love Jakey. They were Jakey.
Yeah, Jakey with the Jakey always gets me the most, I think. Like, holy cow, what are we in kindergarten?
Jakey, where's Jake?
Stupid. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, right? That's a typical one.
I was down there and they spotted me, a couple of girls came right by me. I BCP and like,
ah, man.
Because then they start talking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's just a matter of 3 or 4 people know that you're there, and then all that needs to know that you're there is Dustin. And then it's just He's like a megaphone.
I want to get a hold. How can I get a hold of Dustin? I want to get a hold of where he lives now. Well, I know the neighborhood he lives.
So I've tried to do an interview with Dustin. Okay, I was supposed to do one Monday. Not interview, but just conversation. And I tried to get him on my show Monday. He told me to quote unquote fuck off. He will never do a show with a known Nazi ever. And to think that I would ever get an interview with him is, I'm a silly goose, is what he said.
He called you a silly goose?
A silly goose.
Yeah. Like a lot of these.
He's got an interesting view on things. He's definitely one of those that if you get on your show, it would be. It's a great day.
I got such good footage of him last night.
Oh, I'm sure.
He was kettled, wasn't he? Was he kettled?
Yeah.
He's like right up front, just sitting there freaking out.
Yeah. Mouth wide open. Yeah.
Dude. I was able to zoom right into his face, just sitting there, just.
Yeah.
Peace, guys. I'll see you tonight.
All right, brother. Yeah. I'll message you in a few.
I'm out.
Yeah, I left right after you showed up. Just because I walked over. I walked over to where they were releasing everybody.
Yep.
And then I noticed that it was kind of increasing in frequency on how many people were leaving. And it was already getting pretty crowded down where I was at. So I was like, I don't know. So I went back around and I noticed that the cop line moved forward.
Everybody, you out of here?
Love you guys. We're gonna go get some brewskis.
Where are you going?
We're going to this like bar right over here. It's like got the fucking outdoor seating and shit.
Where are you going?
Later, bro.
You guys have fun on here tripping, right?
Oh, I'm going to.
I'm not saying nothing more than that, but you just have fun.
I will.
Like outdoor seating. We're gonna go walk. We gotta go. I don't know.
Huh?
I told them we're going over there.
I don't know. They're
all grabbing beers
supposed to be
too,
going
so I
to
think
a get together with them, so I don't know. I got to check with everybody, but I might, maybe.
I'm fucking dying today, bro. I'm fucking ready to get this shit off my.
Later, guys.
I'm off, guys.
Hey, who's doing security?
Yeah.
Jake, wrong with JP. Own it, bro.
I know. Yeah, man.
Hi, man. Good seeing you, bro. Take care of yourself.
I'm Jake.
James.
Yep. I'm sure I've seen you around. Well, I'm going to see you in a few.
That's right. God bless.
Right here. This one right here. This is. Yeah, this is all.
There you go.
Yes.
Get you some.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Later, guys. All right. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more, but as far as like today's event, I think I'm done. I was gonna see if I could spin this camera around, but I think it's gonna be too difficult for me. Pull it off with all the cords on it. I hope you guys appreciated everything today, and well, I got everybody in here. Hold on one second. Let's see here. So I know I already said this, but hold on.
Fuck you. You're not even listening.
I'm
fucking tired, man.
Some punk ass kids. Oh my god.
And then I read the stream on fucking Quifa. They said, "Oh, they know Jake. Oh, look at Jake. He pops his own time. Fucking idiot." And just to get sympathy, it's like, fuck.
It's just like, well, it's like they don't realize how well off I am. Like, I don't need to do that kind of shit to grift and get donations and money and shit. It's not even like that. Like, dude, I do better for myself than anyone in my, age category besides primetime. So to even make the notion that I somehow destroyed my own property to what grift, you know what I mean? Like donations, like what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like,
you need to join our network
sense.
so we can get a hold of you.
Okay. Is it like a Telegram deal?
Yeah, you know.
Well, don't say anything because I'm live. But
tomorrow, right?
Oh, really?
You're streaming?
Oh, I'm.
Oh. Yeah.
We'll talk.
Check it out later.
Okay, we'll talk.
2 events.
So yeah, Cheryl, thank you, $10. Cindy, thank you for the 50, and My YouTube super chatters, thank you, appreciate it. Everybody that put a couple bucks up today, totally not necessary, and it definitely keeps the stream going and keeps the content coming. So I appreciate you guys. And like I said, this is we had like a multi-event today in Olympia. I'm not sure what this lake is called, but the Capitol's right there. That was where the first event was. It was up top, about 2-3 blocks that way, and then we came down here. The first one was like a 2A rally. This one was like a Freedom America, hold the government accountable, 1A, just kind of a collage of things. Open schools back up, just kind of a general freedom rally. So I'm sure you guys saw a lot of individuals that showed up today with different viewpoints, and unlike Antifa's events, they weren't attacked. And we had some decent conversations as far as I saw it, in Winston Churchill's grandson here, and the usual monopoly of libertarian speakers, which I'm not a huge fan of, but you know, some of their stuff is good. So anyways, I'm logging off. Love you guys, and thank you for being patient. Thank you for supporting me. Seriously, the last week of donations and helping me out, I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are more than generous and very loving and kind. So thank you all. I love you, YouTube. Love you, DLive. Thank you, mods. Everyone that was in there. Appreciate you guys. And someone's saying Capitol Lake. So yeah, it's Capitol Lake. But anyways, I will see you on the next one, and be safe today. Go spend some time with your family. I'm going to go spend some time with my wife and child. And I suggest everybody kind of do the same. Spend the weekend with your family. Try and stay off the Antifa streams. Don't give them the attention that they want, you guys. Go spend your weekend with your family. It's more important. Okay? So, logging off. I will catch you guys soon. And thank you for being here.